music. Midnight 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 music.
I somehow turned the Chavo theme into a Pokemon battle theme.
There's crazier things on the internet, trust me.
Oh yeah, dude, totally.
This is an episode 396 of the YLP podcast. What the hell?
This is 381 of the KOTR podcast.
We should be at like 390, but we took breaks periodically.
Dude, we should be close to 500 first of all. Because like,
I'm not gonna lie, you're not wrong.
If January, well, I just do the math. February will be 10 years, so that would be 520 episodes if we didn't miss a week.
That's true.
So that's still 6 months from now. So subtract 25. We should be approaching. We should be about 75 episodes ahead right now than what we are.
Probably, yeah.
I feel like it's a year. So we pretty much took a year off if you do it like
yeah.
But by cumulatively, you took like 50 some odd weeks off, which hey, that's not too bad.
That's all right.
Sometimes there wasn't shit to talk about in wrestling.
Yeah, it's not like we have a diehard audience who's begging for it either.
I mean, Slack was begging to come on for a very long time, and
that's fair.
And to be honest, again, Slack, we forgot a lot. I know you don't believe us. Like I know you don't believe us.
The first time you contact me, the first time you contact me over a year ago, hey, we have new merch, and it's just like, hey, nice to hear from you after a year and a half. Like, what's up?
Hey man, you know where to find us. How many times we told you to join our Discord?
Seriously, Slack, he's in it.
Yeah, bro.
I have
he's in it.
Messages. I have Instagram messages where you left me on scene.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I had girls doing that to me in high school.
You really fit the theme here.
I totally forgot you did messages. Damn, the Mets scored again? God damn it.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh, fucking Bader.
Bader hit it?
No, I think Bader scored before the Mets did. Whatever.
Oh.
Jesus Christ. I forgot about that.
It's all right. It's Cole. He's still in spring training.
He struck out like 10 in 4 innings in his warm-up in AAA like Saturday.
Well, yeah, dude. Like that's AAA. You know, like.
Yeah, what do we? Yeah. This ain't majors.
He's
What are we
practically
doing, bro?
playing college kids. Like,
Potentially.
Oh God. Something like that.
I'm surprised Fretz isn't here for this. We advertised as you were going to be here, Slack, and Fretz is like your number one hater.
Does he work Tuesdays? Oh, Slack, tell us the story of how you met Fretz when like you actually met him.
Yeah, I would need to hear your side of this.
Met him in person?
Yes, in person. What's he like?
Okay.
What's he smell like?
Alcohol at the time.
All right,
Nice.
fair. Good start.
I was at it was the first AEW show in Toronto, like the first Dynamite, and he had messaged me or I had messaged him like the week of, and we had coordinated meeting up. And then when I got there, either I messaged him or he messaged me, and I found the section he was in, but it was awkward because he was like 5 or 6 seats into the section. So it's just like, hey, excuse me. Hey, it's nice to meet you. Hi, excuse me, sorry.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Slack. You do kind of stand out because you are rather tall, so I've heard.
I clock in at 6'3", yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm 6'3", 200 pounds. I could fight in the UFC light heavyweight division almost.
I would pay to see
Godfather started a convention, he'd be like, "Oh, hey there, big man," like he did the Charles.
Well, the thing is like no joke. I lost my girlfriend in a crowd, like somewhere, and all I did was this.
Just raise your hands.
Yeah,
and she just
wow.
Wingspan's incredible.
Yeah, so I've been told.
Man's got that Wemby wingspan.
I bet you hate that you're not athletic.
Who says I'm not athletic?
I
just did.
I believe Will did.
You don't know Jack Dick.
Okay, how good?
I don't know. You don't pass.
What's your batting average?
I played soccer for 17 years and hockey for 8.
Doesn't mean you're good, dude. I played basketball. I played baseball for 10. My career batting average was like 20.
Trust me, I was good. Good enough. Good enough to make rep and be offered rep twice.
Speak English.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
What's the league above like when you guys like okay, so it's like the house league or whatever you want to call it, like the lowest level, and then like when you have to start paying to play. You guys like have that?
Like what do you mean? Like people pay you to play?
Like the level, like the level that you play
How,
at. Like
how
hockey.
old? How old are you for this? Is this like when you're a kid, like in high school?
You can play in Canada. You can play rep at any age. It's just like house league is just like where anybody can play. You can be the best player in the world. You can be the most dog shit player in the world. Rep, you have to like try out for the team, and then if you make it,
this is like
pay to be on the
this is
team.
like AAU.
Okay,
Sure.
got it,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, so you're gonna have to play AAU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something comparative to that.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
The thing
you're,
is- the
you're
thing
better than
was
me.
was
I
that-
guess I gotta give you more credit then for your
The
athletic
thing
ability.
was that like
I respect that.
the skill level was there, just the cash wasn't.
Oh, you didn't have enough
So-
money to join the team.
Basically, yeah.
Gotcha.
Sucked ass because it would have been fun. Who knows what could have happened? But you know,
Oh, there's Bader. Bader hit to someone, Ricky. It's 3-0.
Son of a biscuit.
Sorry, dude. It's the Mets. They'll blow it in the eighth.
That's
inning.
true. That's true. It's still early. It's still early
Ooh.
in grand fashion.
Yeah, mental do something goofy as per usual.
So wait, Slag, you're telling me you almost made a rep for hockey?
soccer,
Soccer. Nice.
hockey. I played house league, which was like just like the anyone can play level. Because in Canada, at least in Ontario, soccer rep like AAU, whatever you want to call it, was like decently priced, but because hockey's so huge in Canada, it was like $700 a season.
Jeez.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Damn.
and it was just more expensive as you got older. Like we had friends like I'll never forget this. I was like 13 years old and I was at a friend's house and they were talking about their son playing hockey, then like the AA, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, there's this kid on Brady's team. Like he's incredible. Like I won't be shocked if this kid gets drafted. Like he will be drafted." And then, but we never asked who he was. And then the following year, they were talking about it again. They're like, "Oh, 100%. This kid's going first overall when he's eligible. Like absolutely." And I'm like, "Yeah, like everyone fucking talks like this." And I'm like, "Well, who's this kid?" He goes, "Kid's name's Connor McDavid." Yeah. My friend Brady grew up playing hockey with Connor McDavid, and we were like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then, like, when he was like 16, we're like, oh shit, that's the kid that fucking Dave was talking about. Oh crap, he was right. Like, he is gonna go first overall.
Yeah, he had a rough
And
night
he
last
did.
night.
Ooh.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
So wait,
Italy tied it though yesterday, and that's all I cared about. The fucking 96th minute.
yeah, Will, did you see the end of the Stanley Cup Finals Game 7 last night?
No, I did
Alright,
not.
talk
I know-
about
I watched the majority of it.
talk
Yeah.
about the worst way to lose. So Florida was up on Edmonton 2-1. It's under like a minute left. The puck goes into essentially the corner right by where Florida's goalie is. Edmonton needs to score to essentially tie this game up and go into OT of Game 7. Edmonton was down 3-0. They brought it back.
I saw they were down 3-0. They brought it back to 7.
So it's like 30 seconds left, and they can't get the puck out of the corner, and the clock runs out.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
They were right there.
That's a bad way to go out.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they literally just packed it in and wouldn't let him get the puck out of the corner. It was a mayhem of a scrum. Yeah.
Yo, is Fretz here yet?
Fretz is here. He's so since there's so many of you guys here tonight, I had to get rid of the chat, as you can see on here. But Fretz is here. Fred says he's working late, so he's gonna be
Go Germany.
He says go Germany. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Yeah, Taquan's here. Taquan, you have a new enemy. It's gonna be his name is Slack. KOTR.
Oh shit.
Earth 1 versus Earth 2.
Oh,
great.
Jesus. This is gonna be a night.
This is gonna be a great night. We have no idea where K is at the moment. If K hops on, they'll hop on. But
All good.
K's not responding to my text at all. Hopefully K didn't throw out their back. Hopefully, freaking LAX didn't take out their electricity again.
The power grid.
The power grid, yeah. That's happened a couple of times.
God damn it, he
Really?
strikes again. Yeah, Kay will message us like, guys, I don't have power. Just randomly. Like, I can't do a shot on power. It's just like, it happened frequently.
Yeah.
We made the bit that Eddie Kingston and LAX just went into Queens cutting people's power for revenge.
All the time. Yeah, Eddie Kingston has one leg at the moment. So yeah, we're going to I'll give Kay about 5 more minutes, and it's going to be a full show of men.
This is bullshit, man.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of BS, so did you hear? So MVP's been going on a tear.
I
on the
did. I saw
socials.
this.
About
Why?
So he was pretty much like.
I think it's a little overblown because I think most of what I see was just him responding to other people's tweets.
Yeah,
not
but
really
he's
saying
like confirming information by responding. So apparently, according to the MVP, is like he tried to lobby. Jesus Christ, damn, Taquan. If you see the share screen, you look, or you can look on the chat on the side. But anywho,
Damn,
yeah.
that's so
Give me a
mean.
Yeah. So apparently MVP
Give
tried
me
to
a
lobby
minute.
to bring back the Hurt Business in its original iteration, and it got shot down. And he confronted multiple times on people's like tweets and stuff. And then there was somebody who was saying they took the concept of the Hurt Business and made it into the Bloodline. And MVP was like, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And when you look at it, it's got a
Ooh.
point. It's got a really, really good point. Yeah, give or take.
Yeah, well, kinda.
It's pretty much the same thing.
It's not a terrible take. It's not a bad take.
It's a take.
It's got some legs to it.
You can make the case for and against pretty easily.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's got some legs to it. So yeah, no, it's pretty hot take there. So we're gonna give Kay about 3 more minutes. Yep, nothing from Kay just yet. So we're
I hope they just text back, fuck you, Slack.
because ironically, the person who was looking forward to this the
Salty.
most was Kay.
Was K Murphy?
Yeah,
That's nice to know.
true statement.
Well, it's tradition, Slack. Every time you're on a show, someone has to not be here.
That's true. I don't think you've ever been with the full cast of us
Bro.
ever.
No, we
Yeah.
did. We did because the three of us talked to Mr. Slack. We talked to his dad.
That's true. We did talk to your dad. Where is your dad?
Probably downstairs.
Sunday.
He's out for cigarettes. Cigarettes and milk.
So Fretz wants to know, Slack, if you're going to Money in the Bank next weekend.
No.
Oh, no Money in the Bank. Okay.
No money in my.
Wait, Money in the Bank's next week.
Money in the Bank's
Jesus
next week, and
Christ.
then you got a 4-week break until SummerSlam.
Oh, I gotta do freaking predictions for that.
Wow,
Okay.
great background, Slack. I actually kind of like you're just going all over the place right now.
Oh my God, what are we, sir? Yeah, Windows 98 be damned. What are we doing?
Yeah, we're sticking with Windows 98.
You're looking at.
Hell yeah.
It looks like
dude.
you're in a scene from Teletubbies.
I've always wanted to go there and just build consoles.
And we're changing it.
You don't got many other virtual backgrounds to go with right now, Slack.
No, I know. I'd have to load my own pictures. Ooh, this looks fun.
Did we have Slack on the OG KOTR lineup? No, we didn't. I don't think Slack. You were never on a show when Dave was around, right?
Windows XP is
Stop.
the
He
goat.
might have. He might have been because that's when I was drunk on the boat. That was 2017.
No. Wait. Yes, that's true.
Was Slack's first time. So it
Yeah.
was you, Dave, and Slack.
Yes, it was. Oh, it's both planets. We are going out of this world. That looks too nice. Now you got to change the background, Slack. There we go. Just weird back. That's even kind of weirder.
These are so shit.
I approve. Not that one. Not
No,
that
no,
one.
no,
No,
no.
not that one.
No, that looks like my laptop background. Looks like my work.
Oh.
That looks like my work background for like when I go
Yeah,
to work.
I like that one. That one I like. That's nice.
Yeah, dude, you're in the Flatiron district. I can go with that one.
oh yeah. Just totally ridiculous. Original paint in the background. Solitaire.
There we
Okay.
go. That's the one right there.
This is
That's the move.
this
Absolutely.
Dude, I still don't know how to play solitaire.
Really?
really.
Yeah, I don't know how to play solitaire. I never learned.
Jesus.
This actually looks like the room I'm in right now.
Kind of. My boss uses that.
Yeah, it does. I believe it.
I'm gonna stick with this because this looks
That
like
works out.
where I
This
am.
reminds me
Looks
of
like
my
a real
boss.
window.
That's what my boss uses as her virtual background.
Because this is the fake background, and then this is the actual background.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
it really isn't that
Like-
much of a difference, except the
It's
fake
weird.
background
It's
looks a little
no.
better, but
Yeah,
Freaking out, man.
yeah, that's freaky actually. I don't like.
wow,
I
it's a
don't like that.
Quantum terrorist. Quan said that Slack's the type of person to bleed out from a paper cut.
Who's who's saying this and where?
Taquan is in our group chat. He's on
Twitch.
Twitch technically
Oh,
right
God.
now.
Taquan is is this a
Yeah.
professional
Yeah,
troll?
Taquan's a professional troll.
Mans is a menace.
I don't know if any of you
Absolute
noticed,
menace.
but Taquan. Oh, Kay
Yep,
has
we heard from
awakened
Kay.
from their slumber.
I got them.
Ask them how much time they
It's
need.
not too late.
How much time do they need?
I don't care. I don't care how long it takes. It's not
Never
too late.
Yeah. Yeah, Taquan changes his name on our Discord once a week, at least. I don't-
He does. I never even
I don't
noticed.
know what his name is now, but it's always something weird. It's whatever's on his mind.
Let me see if I
That
can.
sounds
Let,
about
let me see if I can guess. Taquan, tell me if I'm right.
It should be pretty easy.
Oh God. Okay, that's Wade. That's Kavita.
Wow, this is aggressive.
Nate.
This chat is very aggressive.
Yep. You asked for it.
I don't even know this person.
Nope. We're
Yeah, you
going to
are.
after this.
Really?
Oh, I know which one's Taquan's name.
I don't know. I have no idea.
The AIDS one's really funny actually. Like, that's
At least you have a
that's
sense of
pretty fucking
humor.
funny.
If I had to guess, it would be circumstantial
No,
hubris. But I
That's
don't
Charles,
think that's correct.
actually. No.
Like that's like saying
Charles.
that's like saying to someone like I hope you survive a T-bone but then die in a fucking fender bender on the way to the hospital.
Yeah, so Ty's name on Discord right now is Ty and the Family Stones.
Yeah, I see that. That can't be
That is
Taquan.
Taquan.
That is Taquan.
Ty
Taquan
and the
Ty.
Family Stones is a play on Sly and the Family Stones, which is a Motown music group.
And
Oh.
They were really good.
Love them.
So
I've been wanting to change mine too. Okay.
you don't want
There's
to
Rand,
keep
but something together.
Cheeseburger Daffy?
No, I was thinking. I was thinking of the Crimson,
The
like
Crimson-
the Crimson Daffy, and have it be like a mix of Daffy and the Crimson Chin.
Yo, the Crimson Chin is a great name.
Jesus Christ.
Crimson Chin's a good one.
Crimson
But
shit.
I gotta keep with the Daffy theme.
There you go.
I used to
It
be
works.
MVP Daffy.
Yes.
So
Yep.
Ty and the Family Stones. So are you sure?
Oh hell yeah!
I'm not gonna even do milk cartons for KK. It's just gonna be a black square for the rest of the show. I don't want to just go around and editing all of the slides right now.
I'm gonna keep it off.
So I gave
So-
Kay an ultimatum of "Are you sure?" Slack is here.
Uh-huh.
What are you eating, Will?
Cake.
What type of cake?
Nice.
It's a half and half cake.
Half what and half what?
Chocolate vanilla
Oh, okay, not bad. What was the occasion?
from Carlos. Jazz and I had 4 years.
Oh, congratulations!
Oh, that's fucking wild.
That is kind of wild.
That is fucking
claps.
wild.
One hand
God
clap.
bless indeed. Jesus
Ever
Christ.
wait?
I'm coming up on with my
Coming up
girl.
on what?
How long?
3 years in July.
Ooh.
Jesus.
July what?
21st.
Okay. Got some time.
My birthday's the 9th.
Good job. Sounds like a party.
Yep. I'm gonna have to remember not to just randomly tweet at you for your anniversary.
You're not
out of nowhere.
All right, now I kind of expect it.
My girlfriend's gonna be like, "Who the fuck is King Ricky?"
Oh no, it won't be. It won't be from my account. No, I won't be that generous. Oh, it's gonna be from the podcasting account.
Wow.
She said she might
An
tune in
asshole.
tonight.
Oh, great! Happy Slackiversary.
Ooh.
Oh my god, that's what we gotta call. We gotta call it Slackiversary.
No, please don't. Please
The
don't.
best C show pay-per-view ever.
So here's the thing: she's not into wrestling
How has she survived
my
3
friends
years
have-
with you then?
because she
Facts.
just lets me have my thing, and I let her have her
Oh,
things,
okay.
right?
That reminds me of. Do you remember when we had
But-
Jeff on the network? Will?
Oh my god, how can I
Remember Jeff's
forget?
girlfriend was like, he just likes what he likes. Just like, oh, okay, you're that girlfriend. All right.
God bless you.
Okay.
They got
I
married,
have
right?
no
More
clue.
power to you, girl.
Amachio? I think he got married.
If so, good for them. And congrats to Jeff. Kind of, I love listening to his show.
I did too. She was
Yeah.
hot.
It was really he brought some really great hot takes to wrestling, and I feel like he was high all those episodes.
He was, but he also
He
made really
made
good
good
points.
He made very good points. We're getting a response from
Sounds like my
Kay,
kind of show.
actually.
Is it a hot take to say that I have never liked
This is a-
John Moxley or Dean Ambrose? I've always found him very boring.
Since certain people aren't on the chat right now, you're probably safe to say that.
Yeah.
So-
That is a correct
John Moxley
time to
worked
do
in
this.
tears.
I don't think he's boring,
There's
but
a-
I agree with everything else you said.
Redundant, I guess. Then
Speaking
He's a one-trick pony.
he's very one dimensional.
Speaking of Moxley,
It's a fair take.
yeah, that's fine. Speaking of Mox, and Kay's out officially for the show. Did anybody see the Renee Young and Samoa Joe interview from this past week?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that clip.
So you'll
Bruh.
love this, Will. So apparently Samoa Joe collects medieval weapons. Like that's his
Okay.
thing, but
Man after my own heart.
but he just has a collection of them, like an overabundance of medieval weapons. And so what he does is he just randomly sends them to people. And recently, he's been sending them to Mox all the time. She's like, "Are you the one?"
Just straight up, just
Yeah,
like
she's like, "Are you the one
just got a
sending?"
battle
She's like, "Are you the one sending weapons to my husband?" He's like, "Yeah, that's me." Does he like
absolutely.
him?
Yeah, you just claim that. Like you were just like, yeah, me. He's like, as far as I know, he's the only person he's sending them to right now. No one else.
Yeah. He's like, I sent to a bunch of people. And Renee's like, are you sending it to anybody else but Mox? He goes, currently no. Just him.
Nope.
God, must be nice to have that much money.
Apparently, he doesn't even address it to John Moxley, his real name. He just addresses it to Mox. It's
Just Mox.
I respect that. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I like that. I respect it.
Just Mox, 123 Fake Street, like Nebraska.
Jesus.
Or Cincinnati, Ohio, wherever the fuck he lives.
Wherever he decides to lay his head at night.
All right, yeah. Kay's officially out. Kay is screaming exhaustion due to the Rip Van Winkle of a nap that they took. So yeah,
Only Kay would wake up tired from that.
this means you didn't nap. It means they probably slept right in the middle of a REM cycle.
Hey, did you nap though?
Oh, what is this? Oh boy.
I don't even know if I want to do the show now.
No, you're doing the show. You,
Just wanna make sure they
you
see the little
complain
bit of
too
that
much to not do the show, Slack.
Complain.
It's it's gonna be fun.
Show,
We'll have
yeah.
a good time.
We throwing stray shade, all that nonsense. I haven't even talked about the Celtics yet.
Oh
Hell
no, we're
yeah,
not.
this is gonna be
We
a
are
good
not.
show.
Hell yeah,
no,
go
we're not
Seas.
talking about that nonsense.
Oh yes, we are.
It's not about wrestling. They didn't even get the. Did they even get a belt yet for them? They did. They
did.
got it.
They
Okay.
did. Yeah. They had it in the parade.
I don't care. 18. It feels good. After the Lakers, it's all great.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
have the Lakers be number one or tied. Tie was the worst.
Ever in the history of ever. LeBron, nah, you can't get one more. You're good.
Right, he wants to play with his son on a WAC team. He got JJ Redick to do his bidding for him now, so.
JJ Redick gonna look like a goofy ass bitch. It's gonna be bad.
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Just remember, he wasn't their first choice. They wanted Hurley. Hurley said, F that, I'm trying to get a 3-peat in this bitch. And they just like, yeah, we'll take the analyst guy.
Honestly, if I was Dan Hurley,
Cool.
I wouldn't take the Lakers job either. I was like, wait, I can have a
Hell no.
dynasty
You
at the
gotta get
University of
Bama.
Connecticut, win 3 national championships in a row.
I'm about to 3-peat.
Or I can
I'm about to
go
get a
and play.
3-peat popping. Like,
I can go
what are
and
you
coach
doing?
LeBron, who's far past his prime.
I can be yelled at by LeBron.
Yeah, I can either do the yelling or get yelled at. I'll stick with do it.
Get yelled at and then be an under 500 team and getting shit from the media for something that isn't my fault.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do any of that.
You couldn't pay me enough money in the world to take that job. Hell no.
I mean, you could pay me enough money to take that job. Fuck yeah. If I have no other option. Yeah, oh yeah.
I can
oh, yeah.
see, out of all of us in this group, you would be the most believable.
I'd be like, all right, LeBron, here's a clipboard. Have fun. I'm going to be on the bench. Counting my money.
Yeah, you're just gonna chill out with a drink in your hand and just be like,
No.
yeah, do the thing.
well,
do that
you
one
would
thing in the corner.
coach with a Steam Deck in your hand.
I probably would. Be like, all right, guys, I
Probably.
put all of you on my team, and we're playing where we're playing in real life, and I just put it on watch mode on the hardest difficulties. This is what we're gonna do. See this? This is the play we're running. I'll do the rewinds. No, hit R2. LeBron, that's L2. I said R2.
He would live stream an episode of the podcast, right? As he's coaching and shit.
Oh man,
I could see it. The
that's
vision
true.
is there.
The vision could be there. All right, are you ready to get the show on the road, Will?
Anthony Davis, stop checking yourself out in the
That's
Steam
right.
Deck. You look great.
You guys know how this
Yeah,
goes.
we
I do
did
the
that.
intro. We'll introduce all you guys and all that fun stuff.
I'll get Kurt's notes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually how it's going to go. It's going to be fantastic.
All right, your boy is rolling.
That'll help us.
All
Yeah, we're
good?
good to go.
All right, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Midnight Music.
Coming up this week on Kings of the Rings podcast, we are going to bust it wide open through this forbidden door in our version, known as the Prohibited Portal, where we brought back someone at least that we seriously totally actually forgot about. Slack is here. Slack's here. And yes, and Mr. YLP from the Young Lions Perspective podcast, who I'm more excited for, is also here as well. They're going to help us break down AEW's
Jesus.
mega event on Long Island that no one's going to go to because it's Pride Weekend, Forbidden Door. So let's, without further ado, sit back, relax, and spin on that thing with a little Haktua. It's Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 381, Prohibited Portal, exclusively here on Wrestle Addict Radio, and it starts right now. I am going to tell you one thing right now. I have been waiting to do a Haktua on this show.
Oh, bet you have.
All
week. Just waiting.
fucking week. It is the best thing on the internet and the greatest thing after Drake got buried again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 381, The Prohibited Portal. Essentially a pretty big mega show because we have not one, but two guests here tonight because honestly, we don't know anything about AEW as much as these guys do, including New Japan as well. So we needed some help. We definitely needed some help. So with us today is the Stephen A. Smith of Wrestle Addict Radio, loud, proud, and he will let you know it. A gaijin like no one's business from the Young Lions Perspective podcast by way of Colorado, Mr. YLP, Zach Rizika. How are you today, sir?
Oh, what an intro that was, Ricky. Better than the one you did in the beginning, but we'll let that slide. It's been a while. It has been a very long time since Wrestle Kingdom, and I think it was a perfect time to come back and speak a little bit about the New Japan life.
Hell yeah.
And Forbidden Door. Holy shit, the card looking good.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a lot. It's the first time you've been here since you kicked off the year with us. So it's good to have you back for the first time in about 6 months. And ladies and gentlemen, it is not my honor, but it is my duty to welcome back for the first time in 18 months due to just plain absent-mindedness by everybody on this show. The first ever intern of Kings of the Rings podcast, the first ever person to send us a video message, not once, but twice, which we destroyed him for on the following episode, and yet he is still here, even after working him for almost 2 months. Remember that time as well, and yet he is still here, even after being replaced by an inanimate object. He is still here and being patient after we've denied him for 18 months to be on the show, because we usually have him on once a year. But he is back now, ladies and gentlemen, Slack. How are you, Slack?
Honored.
I'm glad.
I suppose.
Why?
I don't know. I guess
you're the
guy
is your royal fact.
I might just enjoy the abuse.
Yeah, enjoy the ride.
Any attention is attention.
I mean, I guess.
I guess.
Oh
Yes. With me as always, Mr. Will Tarashak. How are you? I have nothing for you. Just how are you?
I sure said that to my bullies. Hey man, I just like the attention. Any attention's good attention. You know, we're pounded. We're friends. And don't worry, Slack. We'll explain what Haktua means to you in the post show.
As if I'm not aware of what it means.
Wait. I'll give you a hint.
Ooh, Chavo.
Yeah, give me that guy.
Wait. I'll give you another hint.
The custody of a child will be determined in a match.
I got new sound bites.
Y'all are
This is going to be a wild episode, especially because I don't know what Will's sound bites are that he's done. This is going to be a total surprise to everybody.
It's just those two.
Okay.
If I have a few more, I'll put this up.
That's what to say. It's going to be a wild show. So mostly, folks, we are going to go through the Forbidden Door and AEW's, I guess, a marquee show at this point for them. But before we do that, we're going to do some little house cleaning real quick, and it involves some merch. Because remember, folks, this is our last episode of Pride Month, and I did want to just reiterate that we do have Pride merch available starting obviously in June, but going to be happening year-round. So this great little bullseye Wrestle Addict Radio logo with the Pride colors surrounding it. These merchandise items are on sale right now. We're going to keep adding merch throughout the year, depending on the season. So please look into that, because wrestling is for everybody, including everybody in Pride and their allies and so on and so forth. Thanks again for Kay, who unfortunately is not with us again to design this for us, but the Pride merch line will be available year round. On top of that, we have some more new merch, because I don't know if you know, Mr. Tarashak, but America's turning older again. And 4th of July is coming up, so I decided, along with the head of product enhancement, aka Hope, aka Kayfabe K Murphy, to start what's going to be known as Wrestle Addict Radio Global Series, where we're going to essentially highlight some of the countries where some of our esteemed fans are from, primarily America. So this,
Woo! USA.
So. Yes,
They
so
look
this
clean.
logo, obviously with the American flag and Wrestle Addict Radio logo combined, is on sale right now. You might be able to get it in time for 4th of July. This is another line and design of merchandise that is going to be on sale in perpetuity. We're going to keep adding to this line as we go along. But don't worry, Slack, you are not left out in this, because we have the Global Series featuring the Canadian maple leaf of the Canadian flag, just in time, hopefully just in time for Canada Day, which is July 1st, by the way. I was taught that years ago, as well. So again, we're going to have the American flag. We have the Canadian Wrestle Addict Radio Global Series merch as well. I know Fretz bought some the other week. This, again, is going to be another line that's going to be in perpetuity that you will be able to buy all year round. We're going to add to it with hoodies and all fun stuff. Whatever you guys want, let me know. I've already got the design. We just need to put it on merchandise. The links to all of that are in the description below. So with all of that being said, let's get into not AEW. Let's get into the weirdest and most interesting thing that WWE has done this year. Okay, so Monday, this has been rumored all week, but Monday, WWE and Indiana Sports Corporation revealed that they are having what it would be like a first of its kind partnership that WWE is doing with a city. So the agreement pretty much is this. They have agreed that WWE is going to bring the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, a future SummerSlam, so next year's Royal Rumble 2025, a future SummerSlam, and a future WrestleMania to the city of Indianapolis. Okay, it is the most unique and a first of its kind deal that I think WWE has ever done with a particular city. And I forgot what the read was on the Hollywood Reporter, but it was something like it's the largest, it's like called like a location fee or something. I have to look up the right term. The largest location fee in history. Essentially, what that is that it's the largest amount of money that a city has shelled out to be like, hey, WWE, come to us. It's essentially their bid, is what it is.
I wonder how much that bid was.
I have no clue, but it was enough.
For three of the big four in the next like 3 years.
In potentially the next 3 years, we don't know exactly just yet.
Let me check the stock price.
Yeah. So at some point, we're all gonna go to Indianapolis for something. It is gonna
we'll be there for
it's
something.
gonna be at Lucas Oil Stadium, the home of the Indianapolis Colts. Lucas Oil Stadium has held multiple Final Fours, Super Bowls, the NFL Combine is there. Freaking the Olympic trials, I believe, are there as well. Not just any Olympic trials, the freaking swimming Olympic trials are there. They put an Olympic-sized swimming pool in a stadium, and they're gonna do it again for LA in a couple years. I think we just lost Slack, actually.
Momentarily.
And momentarily. So while Slack gets
come back.
Oh no. Oh no. So as Will looks up the stock price, Mr. Wildpe, speak on this. What are your thoughts on this one-of-a-kind deal that WWE just did?
So before I get into Indy, let me talk about Minnesota for a second. Because basically Minnesota was handed a gift for the weekend of the SummerSlam bit, and Indy is an interesting choice, but I'm not mad at it. They've held Final Fours, the Combine. Again, the bid must have been insane, but I'm sure the ROI is going to be fantastic for Indy as a whole. More than likely, we'll probably be going to an event at some point, but holy shit, this is big. This is probably bigger than we think.
It's a huge deal. I think it's a crazy deal. Will, what is the stock price right now?
It's at 107. It's up 3% in the past few days.
That's not bad.
So take that for what it is.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. So hold on. I will see what the actual thing because the Hollywood Reporter reported is saying it was exclusive, but it was not. Under the deal, so it's not only WrestleMania and SummerSlam, it's a 2-night WrestleMania and a 2-night SummerSlam. So we are going to get SummerSlam sometime after 2026 because the first 2-night SummerSlam is in Minnesota. So earliest will be 2027. WrestleMania is already 2 nights, so it could be coming relatively soon. And the only WrestleMania we know of is the one next year in Vegas for 2025. So you can assume that they're not going to get the Rumble and Mania in the same year.
Well, obviously not.
Yeah. So it's a pretty wild thing. Slack, what are your thoughts on this ridiculous deal?
The only thing I'm thinking of is so you know how when they go to France or Puerto Rico or even to Toronto, the crowds are always really hyped because it's like, oh, we never get these shows. Like, oh my god, make the most of it. If I'm in a city that's getting 3 of the big 4 over the course of 3 years, I don't think I'm going to be as hyped by the time the third one rolls around. You know what I mean? So it's like if they get like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and then SummerSlam, I feel like the SummerSlam crowd is just going to be trash, just because I feel like American crowds do take getting WWE as often as they do for granted as it is.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So the amount of money spent, like for it to be like the biggest deal ever, and it's like, no offense to anybody that lives in Indianapolis, but it's Indianapolis. You know, it's like
I've heard good
like,
things about Indianapolis, not the state of Indiana.
I've never been to.
I'm just saying that
We
like,
drove
the
through
biggest
it, Will.
the biggest
I know we
draw
drove through
to
it. That's
Indianapolis is the Colts. So I understand why. Like, if it's simply to drive in revenue into the city, I fully understand it.
Yeah.
I just think it's ridiculous to spend like what they call a record amount on, for lack of a better term, just fucking wrestling. You know.
Well, it's not just that, too. So according to Hollywood Reporter, under the partnership, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, WWE live events will emanate from arenas across Indiana, including Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, and Evansville. So we're essentially there are three major cities, Indianapolis being the capital of Indiana. So it's not just Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania. It's Raw, SmackDown, NXT, which they kind of already do already, although NXT might be a bigger deal because there is some rumblings that NXT, once they move to the CW in October, might go on the road. So there's that as well. So it could be a bigger thing. So so according to the Hollywood Reporter, it said there no financial details were disclosed, but sources said the deal involves the largest site fee ever for a WrestleMania and for a Royal Rumble, which makes me believe, if I'm reading in between the lines, they shelled out money separately for all three of these shows.
Probably.
Which is absurd.
Oh yeah.
But if you really think about it, like say they put, I don't know, like I'm just spitballing because I don't actually know how much money. Say it's like $15 million like per show.
Sure.
Whatever. They make that back in one night at WrestleMania.
Correct.
In one night.
You are absolutely correct.
Well, yeah,
So
that's all the
they
tourism.
don't
Like,
really-
this is going to make the city of Indianapolis a crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
But the thing
Like, that's
is,
just
that,
a
like,
fact.
it's not like it's short term revenue that is going to benefit them in the long term. So it's like you got to spend money to make money. You know what I mean? Like if you want to win the lottery, you got to make the money to buy the ticket.
Oh, you gotta think though. I think the point Slack might be trying to make is like that money that city of Indianapolis paid to WWE. That's taxpayer money,
Yeah.
right? So it's just like WWE's making the argument that billionaires make for having like Las Vegas pay for the Oakland Stadium, right, and making for the stadiums. It doesn't really help. Like, yeah, in theory it helps the economy, but in reality, they're fucking getting hosed.
Yeah.
taxpayers get hosed in that.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I'm interested too because like I need an excuse to go to Indianapolis because the Colts don't do it for me. The Pacers sure as hell don't do it for me.
Oh,
Neither
I'll
does
totally
Indy
go to
500.
Indianapolis. I've never had that's my first reaction. Well, I guess I finally have a reason to go to Indianapolis.
That's literally my reason as well. I was
There you
like,
go.
Not even for the Indy
no.
500.
Although I hear tailgating at racing events are great. But
I mean, I you know what? I would go to a racing event, but I probably wouldn't go like to the biggest one first.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I need some minor league racing
need to
events
warm
to go
up.
to.
You got to ease yourself into that.
yeah, you need the warm up a bit. But I'm excited because like at some point I'll go. Like the Royal Rumble next year is February 1st. So Royal Rumble 2025 is going to be in February, which is kind of a rare occasion, but we don't know when SummerSlam's going to be for them. We don't know what
It's February 1st. All
Yeah.
right, it's like it's whatever. Okay, it's in
yeah,
February.
one day.
Ooh.
So yeah. So we don't know what it's going to be, but I'm kind of excited. And I also, this is an excuse to go to Lucas Oil Stadium because honestly, as much as I love wrestling, Will and I both know this. I go for a stadium and the stadium food.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, I love stadium food. The food in
Yeah.
Philly was excellent.
Yes.
Just all around.
All around good.
Everywhere we went, the food was great.
Who was that baseball team that was doing that thing where it was like you pay like a flat rate and then you have like all the hot dogs
Oh,
you can have?
Miami.
Or, like,
Miami
whatever
Marlins.
that was.
That
Yeah,
sounds like
like,
something
I remember
would
seeing
do.
a video, but they were like everything was like room temperature and cold.
Because it was like grab and go. It was,
See, like that's the difference between like you guys and me. Like I refuse to pay stadium prices for food.
I
absolutely
get
refuse.
it, but
it's so good.
fucking
It's
delicious.
so good.
The thing is, I don't know. I've never been to the
You
States
need
for
it.
show, so you guys can confirm this or whatever. In Toronto, every 500 feet, there's a fucking hot dog cart. outside every show, whether it's a Leafs game, whether it's a wrestling show, whether it's a concert. There is hot dog vendors every
Do you think you're in New York or something? What's going on here?
So
Yes, food trucks.
Fuck.
We have that too, except it's not just hot dogs.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what it is. It's just hot dog carts that you can get a sausage and a drink for like $6. And that's what I did before NXT TakeOver in 2019 when I met some friends of the show. But then, like an idiot, I didn't eat the rest of the night, and then just
bad move. Bad move. You pulled.
Fail.
Oh yeah, bad move. A friend of the show had to actually make sure that I was okay the rest of the night because I couldn't walk right.
Ooh, Chavo.
I'm gonna be asking some questions once this show is over. All right. So yeah, WWE Indianapolis. Will and I will probably not drive there because we did that drive before to Chicago and probably never again.
No, I could probably afford flight tickets.
Yeah.
Much as I don't want to pay flight, although depending on how much that costs.
We'll cross.
See. We'll see.
It depends on what show we want to go to out of these three.
Yeah. Honestly, like.
Would it just be Mania?
I mean, Mania's
like,
gotta be a given, but like, I want to go back to another Rumble.
Yeah, the Rumble's
really
awesome,
fun,
especially if it's 2 nights. Like if it's 2 nights, I might go for 2 nights for the Rumble. SummerSlam. I'm fine watching SummerSlam on the couch.
How do you guys feel though? Rumble?
I'm perfectly fine with that.
But a 2-night Rumble, I'll probably drop $1,000 on that trip. That's fine.
Yeah, but like a 2-night Rumble card would be so overbloated by like the second night. Like it would just be like throwaway matches you could see on Raw. Like my whole thing with like the Royal Rumble is I would be content with a Royal Rumble where it's you open with one of them, you do whichever World Championship match in the middle, and then just like a 3-match card. Give each Rumble an hour. Give the championship title half an hour, and I'd be very okay with that.
Pretty much what they do right now.
Well, no, but they also add like the last Royal Rumble.
No, they do. Recently, they've been doing the championship matches,
so like,
right?
Like, no one's going to the Royal Rumble to see like Cody Rhodes defend like the World Championship against whoever the fuck is in the World Championship. They're there for the Rumble. So instead of say a Rumble could easily be an hour and a half, easily.
Yeah.
But to make time for everybody else on the card, they're usually now at least. I think the longest one was the one that Gunther was second in when it was like an hour and 5 minutes or something.
Like hour and 4 minutes, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think the longest one before that was the Rey Mysterio one.
It was 62 minutes and something seconds.
Right. So my point is like if I'm paying the money to go to a Royal Rumble, give me an hour and a half of the Royal Rumble and cut out the U.S. title match with Logan Paul and I Show Speed. You know,
Logan Paul creates too much revenue. You can't cut him out.
Well, that's okay. So like, cut out. I don't actually know who's Intercontinental Champion right now.
Sami Zayn.
I think
your Canadian brethren.
I actually forgot that Sammy was the Intercontinental Champion for a second.
The fuck?
But Slack, even to your point, because you actually do make a good point in terms of Rumble. The world title matches specifically. It's just like because the Rumbles typically set up those matches.
Yeah.
So why have them?
So you're like we all assumed that Bayley. Well, a lot of us were assuming Bayley was going to win the women's Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't make sense for Io Sky to drop the title.
Well, that's what I mean.
So why have the match?
You're just putting enough matches to fill in the card.
However, the mid card, I think that's a good spot for the mid card titles because those can literally switch whenever because they typically don't mean that much.
My main, like when people talk about like the way the Royal Rumble needs to be laid out, my main piece of like evidence as to why I think championship matches do not need to happen on a Royal Rumble card is because of the 2022 Royal Rumble. Because Roman defends his championship and wins, but then Brock loses his championship and is screwed out of it, and Lashley wins. When that happened, everyone knew that Brock was going to win the Rumble, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you have championship matches that have obvious outcomes, it makes the Royal Rumble more predictable.
Yeah, it takes away from it. Yeah, no, you're 100%
last
right.
3 Rumbles have been. It's like before the match even starts, you're like, it's going to be so and so, because everyone knew Cody was going to go back to back.
That wasn't guaranteed.
There was no way Edge wasn't going to win his first Rumble back, his first full year Rumble back. You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought it was totally possible that CM Punk wins the Rumble. I thought that was 100%
possible.
Can I be honest?
Those on the
To be
table,
honest,
yeah.
I completely forgot Punk was in the Rumble this year. I completely
That's
forgot
fair
about that.
because he hasn't been
That's
on
a
TV.
fair point. It's like, oh,
CM Punk's
shit.
return has been so fucking mid. It's been
Amazing,
ridiculous.
you mean?
Because he hasn't been there.
He's been doing the best
But
he
what he
can
has-
with he's been dealt a shit hand. He's
He's
done
the
really well.
Bugs
He's been-
Bunny of wrestling right now. He is there to just fuck with people, and it's
Yeah, except
fantastic.
it was except on Friday it was wet
He's
season.
the
And he's
Bugs Bunny
dead.
of wrestling.
Like
Well,
Yeah.
listen, it's hard. It's Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. It plays out perfectly. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels from like 96, 97. Talked about this last week.
Exactly the way you want it.
Build the tension, folks. But we can talk about that all day long. What we're here to talk about, folks, is Forbidden Door, emanating from Long Island, New York, specifically Elmont, where the UBS Arena is at, going on Sunday. Currently, right now is the time of this recording. Well, you'll be surprised. It's only 8 matches so far.
Oh, thank God.
8 matches. 8 matches so far. This could blow up to like 13, 14. By the time Wednesday happens, it could blow up to
double digits. Is not
it could
good.
blow up to 13, 14. Now, like I said, myself and Will Tarashog aren't the most knowledgeable people for AEW and New Japan, and some of CMLL to kind of brush it in. But that's why we have Slack, who kind of loves and hates AEW, and Mr. YLP, who knows more about New Japan than I think anybody else. So we're probably going to defer to you most of the time for your guys' expertise. So that's how this thing is going to go. And we're going to start with the top of the card, which I will presume will be the main event. The first ever African-American World Heavyweight Champion in AEW history, Swerve Strickland, is putting his title on the line against the AEW International Champion, Will Ospreay, which I guess the International title is the secondary title compared to the TNT title, the Continental Championship, and whatever other championship, the FTW Championship in AEW. So I guess the International title is their Intercontinental title. I'm assuming, since they're doing this, it's champion versus champion, but the AEW World title is on the line. Now, I actually kind of know both of these men with this, and it is, for me, it's an interesting thing because a lot of Swerve's run, in my opinion, has kind of been sullied by everything else going around AEW, which is not Swerve's fault at all. You know, there are just bigger storylines.
it's been overshadowed, you mean?
Yeah, it's getting overshadowed. So there's nothing that Swerve really can do. That's just some storylines just happen to pick up steam. But I don't think, even though Will Ospreay is the hot guy right now, and his whole hit row and hit list thing kind of didn't hit for me, no pun intended, with that promo. Like, I get what he was trying to do,
I liked it.
It just, for me, it fell flat. I was like, I get it, but like, I don't know.
He's right. He has beaten Kenny and Okada.
Yeah. You know, and Will Ospreay is kind of that hot guy with a lot of stuff going on right now, but I don't think, in my opinion, I do not think it's time for Will Ospreay to be a double champ. I don't think they need double champs in AEW right now. You need to.
This was a bad match to make.
You need to unify titles at this point.
This is a horrible match to make.
All these belts make New Japan look
it's
still
crazy.
fun.
So,
Creatively speaking, this was a horrible match to make.
I mean, is it
no,
title
it's
for
just
title?
the AEW World Championship on the line.
It's just Swerves.
Oh. Okay. WWE just did this, right? Didn't WWE just
They
do
almost
this
did.
with Cody and AJ?
They almost did.
Okay, no, Cody
Yes.
and Logan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cody and Logan, yeah.
Yeah, they
Okay.
did. So
The thing is that there is no good outcome here, because if Swerve wins clean, then Ospreay loses momentum. If Ospreay wins clean, then Swerve winning the championships means but all. But then if either one is dirty, then it's just, you don't want a dirty finish for a main event. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And like a lot of the AEW purists have been saying, like, oh, but like it's just about the wrestling. Like, even if Ospreay loses, like it's not gonna matter. Like, we're just doing it for the rest. But it doesn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
But
isn't the point
the problem
of
is,
AEW?
The problem is with AEW is that they start new storylines before finishing the ones that they're currently fucking on, because they are starting the MJF Ospreay feud while Ospreay is feuding with fucking Swerve. So it makes it even more obvious what's gonna happen. But what people are saying is like, oh, it's like, well, MJF wants the world title back. So what if Osprey win? Osprey's not gonna fucking win. Osprey is my favorite wrestler in the world. He's not gonna fucking win. There's no way. Whether it's MJF screwing him and MJF turns heel, which won't happen. Whether it's Swerve winning clean, there is no good outcome here for anybody involved in this match. To me, it diminishes Swerve's stock.
Fair. Mr. YLP, what are your thoughts?
I'll shut up.
Sorry.
I mean,
I'll stop.
Like, when I was doing my predictions.
No, you're good.
No, you're good. No, like, when I was like writing down my predictions, like because I was bored at work and I didn't care.
What happens?
The only thing that came to my mind, it'd be like that sometimes, but the only thing that came to my mind strictly was Swerve wins clean.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a match. Let's not get that twisted by any way, shape, or form. This is going to be a hell of a match. But why would you take the title off Swerve right now when everybody's going to be talking about freaking All In and what they're going to do there, and if they're going to have to drop the title, Swerve drop the title then? I mean, it's not the time, one. And Ospreay's got a belt. We're good.
Yeah.
Swerve retains. It's going to be a hell of a match, though.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. This is almost worth me spending money to go to UBS, even because I like UBS number one. But this is almost like is the price of admission for me to go to this AEW event. I'm not going, but I'm just not going. Rent is due the next day, so I'm not going. But if I was, I would go to see this. But Will Tarasuk, what is your final prediction for this? Swerve wins?
Yeah, I'm also going to take Swerve, but I thought the whole point of this pay-per-view was that it's like an all-star game, and what would happen if these two faced off?
Yep.
Right? So it's kind of like, well, who cares who wins?
They're all on the same team.
Pay-per-view, it's I guess, but I mean, if it's for the actual title, I don't see Will Ospreay taking his belt. Not a chance.
No, it would be weird. It would be.
I mean, this guy loses all the time, and people still love him. So. Him losing in my opinion, this doesn't matter because he's already known as one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. So.
Yeah.
AEW is a company where wins and losses don't really matter.
they're like whose line is it anyway?
Yeah, pretty much it is. It's entertaining. It's a lot of fun, but what happens doesn't really matter.
That's a great way to put it, though. That's a great way to put it.
What I don't
love
understand is that the fact that they're making this Swerve, and this is like my main gripe with the match, because like YLP said, it's gonna be a fucking incredible match. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm very excited to see this match happen. But it also feels like AEW is leaving a lot of New Japan talent on the shelf.
You don't say.
And not using them. Like, could you imagine?
You don't say.
Like, imagine, like, I don't know if you would think this would sound to me, because of the way this dude wrestles, I think this could be really tight. And he might be injured for all I know. Give me Will Ospreay versus Jeff Cobb. I'd watch that. I'd watch that in a heartbeat, for sure. Because
it's a good choice. It's a good choice.
And then, just for me, because I like this wrestler a lot, and again, I don't know if he's injured or not. Swerve versus Kushida. I think that would be a really good match.
Also a good choice.
Swerve can wrestle technical when he needs to, and Kushida can break your arm in a flash, right? So I think that to just do Swerve Ospreay for the sake of doing Swerve Ospreay is stupid. On the only card that you should not be doing that match on is Forbidden Door, and guess what? They're fucking doing it.
Yeah, because Will Ospreay is signed to AEW,
correct,
right?
Fully.
So what is he at least on like Collision or the other show? So it's like, ooh, Raw versus SmackDown, and the Forbidden Door is open.
Ospreay needs to be more.
No, they're both on Dynamite.
So.
God fucking damn it! God fucking damn it!
Yeah,
he wrestled on Collision last week.
Never mind, he wrestled on Collision last week, but I think he also cut a promo on Dynamite on Swerve.
He did.
Okay, so this isn't a Forbidden Door match then. This is just a match. This is just like this is just your main event of AEW match.
This winter is coming, man.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, for real. Like this has nothing. This has nothing to do with it. Like, why isn't New Japan guy in the main event at your pay per view about sharing the spotlight with another?
I'm just
company?
saying, because I went to last year's Forbidden Door in Toronto.
Yeah.
Going from Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay and Okada versus Danielson to
Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Swerve versus Ospreay, I think is one of the biggest downgrades I've ever freaking seen in my life. Like,
Yeah, I think
the ladder match
That's
is
really
the
good.
only match where I'm like,
damn.
"Nah,
Wow.
don't get me wrong. Zack Sabre Jr. and Orange Cassidy are both great, but when we get to it, I have a lot of feelings about Orange Cassidy.
That's fine. That's fine. I've seen
we'll
Orange
get to
Cassidy.
That's fair.
I've met ZSJ. ZSJ, nice guy in person. We saw him at Evolve that one time, Will.
Yeah. I have a lot of
Orange
feelings
Cassidy's the
about this
fucking
company.
man.
A lot of feelings.
Listen, we're all about feelings here, so let's move on. Let's move on from these feelings and move on to some feelings that Mr. YLP might actually enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship is on the line with Jon Moxley putting the title on the line. Jon Moxley won this in Chicago, by the way, at essentially a house show.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, the title changed hands. Though the biggest title in New Japan changed hands at a United States house show. Let that sink in.
I
Take everything.
Thank you, Will.
No issue at all. Absolutely not.
Thank you, Will. Going up against one of the most
No, we're perfectly
yeah,
fine.
going up against one of the most consistent, one of the modern legends of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Tetsuya Naito, if I'm saying that correctly, Mr. YLP, correct me if I'm wrong, who I believe won the title at Wrestle Kingdom recently.
He did.
He did. So,
Yeah.
we can talk all about Moxley. I think we all have feelings about Moxley, but I'm going to defer to Mr. YLP. Give me some insight. What do we need to know about Tetsuya Naito and his shot at getting his title back from Jon Moxley?
So basically, let's take our minds back to, let me look at my calendar, the 9th. Dominion went down, and there was a wonderful lumberjack death match between Jon Moxley and Evil. Moxley retains in there was a push-up bar involved, there was a table involved, barbed wire bat. Yeah, it was a fun match. If you haven't seen that yet, go watch that. But after the match, Moxley cuts a promo basically saying anytime, anyone, anywhere. Doesn't matter. He wants to defend the belt. And he basically said anybody in the back of New Japan, Forbidden Door, what's up? Out comes Naito. Makes sense. Pretty much put up the rematch. And in New Japan, they pretty much just people will just come out and just challenge for whatever titles there. It works out when it's necessary. But Naito's getting his lick back. And I'll tell you why. I'm going with Naito to take the title back. G1 Climax is coming up next month. And I have a very, very good feeling. Oh, wait, there's someone that's in this match that's not in the G1, and his name is Jon Moxley. Moxley's not in G1. I think he can drop the title and be perfectly fine with it, because Naito, as the World Heavyweight Champion, makes more sense going into G1 than Moxley not being there at all. I'm just going to put it like this, though, in terms of Moxley and Naito. The first match was good, and I want to see it again. Naito gets his lick back and takes the title back to Japan, being the World Heavyweight Champion.
Makes sense to me. Slack, I'm assuming that you do not want to see Moxley with this title for much longer.
No.
I don't. Just for me, when it comes to Jon Moxley, I think he's a good wrestler. He is. Don't get me wrong. Dude can go. But for me, as long as he's been in AEW, and if you guys disagree with me, I know a lot of AEW fans disagree with me because I've had this conversation with people. I think Jon Moxley tries too hard to make you forget that he was Dean Ambrose.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
wow. God. Slack, next time you get
That's a Don DeMarco right there. Holy
Slack,
shit.
next time you get in the argument with someone, just let them know the entire Kings of the Ring staff approves that message, and you are 1,000%.
Don't worry, Slack. This is going on our TikTok and our Reels really soon.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Right
you know what?
No, put that on the TikTok.
Yeah.
To Jon Moxley fans,
Oh boy.
you can kiss my ass. You can debate your grandmother. Okay, he's been boring as Dean Ambrose, and he's even more boring now because he's trying too damn hard to be so fucking hardcore. It's boring, and it's overdone, and it's outplayed, and it's outdated, and get the title off of him.
Wow. All right. Slack with
That-
the hot
that-
Slack.
Bars.
Slack, stop.
Slack
being
went
nice,
full heel.
all right? It's more
He
fun
went
when you're
full
wrong.
heel.
That being said, I will say this. John Moxley,
Oh, he's gonna now.
Yeah,
Ray
yeah.
John
John Moxley,
Don't worry. I'll clip it away. I'll clip it away.
Yeah.
So I was like, continue.
for me, John Moxley, like I said, he is trying way too hard to make you forget that he was Dean Ambrose. All I need him to do is dial it back like 2 notches, and we're good. But the fact that every John Moxley match ends up becoming a death match at some fucking point, and it's just boring. It's boring at this point.
He just wants to bleed.
Like,
He wants to bleed more
there
than
is-
Cody in AEW.
There is nothing about a John Moxley versus
True.
Tetsuya Naito match that makes me think, oh, Moxley's probably gonna bleed, but he's gonna fucking bleed. The thing is that John Moxley is so addicted to blading that Naito will hit the Destin Dino, which lands Moxley on the back of his head, and Moxley will still figure out a way to make that a blade.
On his forehead.
100%. 100%. That said, Naito, I think, is still one of the most underrated wrestlers in the world
Agreed.
because when it comes
Talk to
because
him.
when it comes to New Japan's exposure in the Western wrestling world, it's a very limited list.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys bringing YLP and myself here sort of rings that true, because there are guys
Very
on
true.
this card that I'm like, oh my god, like I can't believe he's actually on this card. Whereas 90 other wrestling fans are going to be like, who the fuck is this? And excuse, like I've literally seen this. Who is this random Japanese guy?
Sounds about
And
right.
it's
Sounds like the
tricky. There's
IWC.
Like at last year's Forbidden Door, I'm not making my point strong here. It's just been a long day, and YLP could help me out with this. Who was Punk's match against at Forbidden Door last year?
Oh, I don't even fucking remember. I forgot Punk was at Forbidden Door last
I
year.
want to say Tanahashi. Tanahashi.
Was it Ishii?
It was the guy that does the close.
That would have actually been bad. Nah, Ishii would have whooped his ass.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know.
But the point
actually.
is that like I went into that. I'll look it up and confirm it. But when I went into that match, I was like, oh, like I'm really happy like that this guy's wrestling. 4 guys in my section were like, who the fuck is this random? And then they said something that I will not repeat. And it's just, and this was what frustrates me even more about Ospreay Swerve main eventing, is that this is such a really good opportunity to display the amount of talent in New Japan, and they're just not taking the opportunity.
Yeah, by the way, CM Punk went up against Satoshi Kojima.
Fucking Kojima.
Yeah. Yeah, and in the corner he was going,
Oh,
I don't know who that is.
Kojima!
I have no idea.
It was hilarious.
Kojima.
It was
I think Will would
hilarious.
love Kojima because Will, he has a corner spot and he basically yells in Japanese, "I'm coming for you, bastard!" And then there's like pretty much running elbow into the corner, and then there's like the 100,000 chop spot. It's
Nice.
fucking great.
And then,
I mean,
Absolutely.
I get that. I get that. But AEW has. I feel like AEW sometimes has an identity crisis. Like, who are they going for?
yeah,
Are they go? Because they like to lean into the IWC a lot, and sometimes it's a bad thing.
Too
Sometimes
much.
it's not a bad
I'm
thing.
gonna show him the footage.
I mean, but dude, like, I think it's hard. It's hard because the idea of being successful in a niche doesn't come across as always successful.
No.
Especially when you consistently compare it to WWE, who is very much not
No.
niche. Well, they are in terms of an entertainment form,
Or
but in
recent,
the world of
anyway.
in the world of wrestling, they are not niche. In the world of entertainment, they are very niche. So AEW is trying to be niche within a niche, and but when you do that, downside is you have a lot of people who go, "I have no idea who this
Yeah.
guy is," and a lot of people are going to be like, "I know exactly who that is," but that number is just so
That is
small.
correct. So with that being said,
I feel like
It's hard. It's kind of hard to grow into the audience when you focus on that niche so
correct,
heavy.
yeah.
I feel like sometimes AEW has this mindset, like, and again, people will disagree with me on this, but that's why I'm here, for the clips and the controversial opinions.
It's another clip right there.
Thank you.
AEW looked at NXT between the Bobby Roode
Glorious.
NXT championship win up to when the pandemic hit, and looked at that time period of NXT and went, what if we did that, but bigger.
With money.
Because there is
Yeah,
so
that's
much,
exact.
there is
That's
so
again.
much-
He is so fucking correct.
There is so much I see on
Yes.
AEW TV that I'm like, you know what? I will make. You can make this a clip too if you want to. AEW is the equivalent of let me copy your homework, but change it enough so people don't know I copied you. They looked at NXT and went, "Hey, can I copy off of you?" And NXT was like, "Yeah, just change it a little bit." And you want to know what I mean?
Oh my
Undisputed
god.
Undisputed Era, Undisputed Kingdom.
It's true.
Kingdom.
Like, yeah, it's so. And again, I have the reason I say all this here is because I am so sick of the amount of crap that people get for having opinions that are critical, but also backed up by just fact. Because there are AEW purists that are just like AEW is great because it's not WWE. But the thing is like you can like both and not be a fucking dick about it.
Facts.
And
That's
that's
a
why I
bold
hate.
bar.
That's why I've had a couple people say like, "Why am I not tweeting as much?" Because I'm fucking sick of it. Like it's just like there are people that I am friends with, legitimate friends with on Twitter that when I read their Twitter feed, I am like, I would rather not so many things I'd rather do than read this stupid fucking tweet that sounds like you just tweeted it out of your ass. Like
Yes, like you don't need to be a Twitter
Yeah.
warrior.
This is
It's
a
fine.
slackination
that's
going
fine.
on right now.
sorry,
I mean,
Yeah,
don't get
and
me
that's-
wrong. He makes a very valid point.
aggressively.
That yeah, you can make a strong case that AEW does literally try and copy NXT to
Yeah.
a point. But I don't even view that as a bad thing because
No, it's
that
not.
type of wrestling was gone. And because Vince came into NXT and fucking ruined it, and we as fans still wanted that kind of wrestling because that part of NXT was some of the
Absolutely.
best wrestling.
It was
Like,
brilliant.
you could put that era of
Absolutely.
wrestling and match it up to any other era in any part of any wrestling company, and it matches
Call of a
up to the
takeover
best.
era.
Because people, if you
Mm-hmm.
Because-
Right,
because-
so AEW trying to do that, I was like, yes, that's a duh statement to me. Because why would you not want to do that?
exactly.
The hole in the market was there, and they did do a good job filling it for a
little
little
bit, and
while.
then it just became a lot. But before,
A lot of people talk about sorry, just really
Yeah.
quickly. A lot of people talk about AEW signing a lot of ex WWE guys, but it's mostly ex WWE NXT guys. They don't
Yeah.
sign a lot of the main roster guys. It's always the guys that signed in NXT through the indies, whether it's Adam Cole,
Baby.
Yep.
Keith Lee. Like honestly, on the top of my head, the only 3 guys that I can think of that were actually on WWE's main roster on a weekly basis that are on AEW's payroll right now is Danielson, Edge, and
And Christian
no, not even Christian.
Christian was
Because like
staple of
he
WWE.
was
he was gone
Christian- yeah,
off.
Christian
of,
was
but,
on-
like I'm talking about like the window of time between leaving WWE and signing.
Okay.
So I would
okay,
say
so
that
Christian was
the
injured.
3
Okay,
that are
fine.
on WWE TV or on AEW TV that were on the main roster right now is Mox,
Jericho.
Danielson, and Edge. I'm probably missing a
What
couple.
about Jericho?
Okay, fine, Jericho. So there's like 4,
Jericho.
but the point is like the main roster to NXT signings through AEW, the ratio is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
Bigger.
way more.
For every one
it's
in
way
roster guy, it's 5
Absolutely.
NXT guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that being said, Will, are you going with Naito?
You know what I am.
Far off topic.
Because, dude, I was so ready to go to Moxley. No, Slack, you're fucking 10 out of 10 over here, my friend. I was ready to go with Moxley, but Slack just ripped him a new asshole. I'm like, dude, fuck this guy. He's not winning ever again in my book.
He's
It's gonna be really. I mean, for all the goofies in the IWC, y'all can shut the fuck up. But I always say it like this: when it comes to like guys like Naito and anyone else from New Japan that comes through, you're gonna fucking find out. You're gonna love it, and plus Naito is just like he is that guy in New Japan. He is their top guy right now. And Tanahashi can say whatever the fuck he wants. He thinks he's the ace. No, Naito's the ace right now. You can be president, relax. But you're gonna find out exactly who Naito is on the 30th, and it's gonna be freaking fantastic. after
yeah,
you watch
President Ace.
Naito was on the freaking pre-show last year, and now he's in the World Heavyweight Championship match on the main
What a
card.
difference
Yeah,
a year
It's
makes.
incredible.
I'm picking Naito as well.
Going to G1 as the
I'm picking
champ.
Naito as well before we move on, just because. Give New Japan their goddamn world title back.
Yes.
Like seriously, like what the hell?
This is when guys like Brock win the
Talk to
world
Gato
championship,
about
but they
the
actually
tag.
show up. You know what I mean? Like they leave the company they're with,
Talk to
they show up
Gato.
somewhere else.
Yeah, like give them their world title back. Like I feel like Moxley won in Chicago as a long con to get this match at Forbidden Door. If that's the long con, cool, it works. Show's over. Give New Japan their damn world title back and stop hogging it. Like
They need it for the G1. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
are we
When is the
doing?
T1? I don't know the exact date.
July 20th. It starts.
Wait, what was it
They're
again?
doing
What was it
G1
again? The
climax.
G1 what?
G1 climax.
Ooh,
Chavo.
Just
Fuck
you
you,
wait
Slack,
till
you ruined it.
Anywho, let's.
just you wait till
Predictable.
the episode. I'm
My
talking
God!
the
All right, let's
G1.
move.
It's gonna be.
Let's
yeah.
move on to a really interesting feud. There's a lot of girls kissing.
talk
and
about
making
climax.
Ooh, Chavo.
There's a lot of just interesting things going on. You got timeless Toni Storm putting her AEW world title on the line against Stardom champion and very attractive person Mina Shirakawa. I think it's like the Star of Stars Stardom champion. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. YLP. But she's been on AEW TV for a couple of weeks now, kind of with Maria May a little bit, but Maria, it's whatever.
Respect Mariah, man.
We do not care.
The hot chick that doesn't wrestle, that's kind of a sidekick to Toni Storm. Oh,
Exactly.
yeah, that's Mariah May.
Sure.
So Mariah's trying to choose: do I go with Mina? Do I go with Toni? Only the AEW Women's World Title is on the line, which makes me lean into the fact that timeless Toni Storm is the most consistent and most entertaining thing in AEW, and long may she reign. She's winning this whole thing. But for informative purposes, Mr. YLP, can you give me some information about Mina Shirakawa?
I'm just gonna preface this, but I'm just a man. I am merely just a man. Not only is she quite attractive, she can go. Current reigning and defending, I just looked it up, Artist of Stardom champion, which is their trios titles over in Stardom. I personally haven't seen much of her work, but I've heard it's damn good, and this is going to be a fun one. I think I'm calling this one, honestly, my dark horse match of the night because of the story that we have going into it and Mariah May in the middle. Toni Storm is not losing this belt, though. By any means, there's no way. The ring is too good and the promos are freaking badass. I can't be mad at that. Going to be good. Going to be a solid match. Toni Storm.
Yes. Slack. Toni Storm.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Love it. Love everything about the gimmick. I think it is one of the best things going in AEW. It's one of the things keeping them afloat. That said,
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
There's a butt.
Let it out. You've waited 18 months for this, Slack.
It's getting a little stale.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is because her big catchphrase is tits out, chin up,
tits out, watch for the shoe.
Watch for the
Gets
shoe.
out
And when
always
she
watch
first
for the
and when
shoe.
she first started doing that, pop, the crowd would do it, and it was really over. I watched the promo for the contract signing that they did. She did it. Barely any reaction at all. So it's getting to a point where her character needs just a little extra kick in the ass to like keep the momentum going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Well, is it? Let me ask you this: is it more her performance, or is it the fact that she has no one good left to work with?
that is where my next point was.
How's the division as a
You
whole?
beat-
Because
you
like
beat me
if
to
you won't
my
be as
next
good as your
point,
dancing partner.
because my next point was I think the thing that Toni Storm needs for this character is to lose that belt. However, I don't think Mina Shirakawa is the one to do it.
Especially
one
if
that
she's a
has-
rental.
The one that has to do it, and I think people would agree with me, it has to be the one that she took it from in the first place. Jamie Hayter has to be the one to beat Toni Storm because Toni Storm has beaten everybody else, and she only beat Jamie Hayter because Jamie Hayter was injured. If Jamie comes back and takes that belt from her, that's that reset that the timeless Toni Storm's character needs, I think. That said, she absolutely retains at Forbidden Door.
Fair enough.
1,000%.
Fair enough.
I did have however,
I think it makes sense.
however, part of me does think that Mariah May does choose Mina Shirakawa, but Toni still wins.
So she kind of goes a little bit lone without Mariah May. It could be interesting. I mean,
I don't think Toni Storm's character needs Mariah May right now. I really don't think she does.
Toni doesn't need a sidekick. You have
There's more focus on Mariah May right now than there is Toni Storm. And I think that might actually be Tony's. That could actually be the other alternative if Jamie Hayter is still not cleared. Mariah May beating Toni Storm for the women's championship sets up a better story, I think.
Has Mariah even gotten the ring yet?
As much as I love Jamie Hayter, I think Mariah May beating Toni Storm would be a really great story that they could run with for months.
Has Mariah even gotten
Is
the
she
ring?
a face or a heel?
Who?
Toni Storm.
Tweener, I would say.
Tweener?
Yeah.
It's hard to change
Like supposed to be a heel, but got loved so much.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's hard to change character when you're a tweener, though.
That's what I'm saying. Is that's what she needs.
Yeah.
True. Wait, I'm trying to think if Mariah May's in the Owen Hart tournament.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because if she's in the tournament and wins, she gets the title shot against Storm. There's your opening right there.
Yeah, more incentive for Toni Storm to retain her, and I think Will's on board with that, with Toni Storm retaining as well. Especially since I believe, like I said, Mina Shirakawa is on a rental because she's coming from Stardom and still has one of their belts. And since the title's on the line, it kind of foretells that Tony's not dropping this to somebody coming from Stardom. It would kind of be weird. Be it as it may, moving on to what I call bias all inclusive in this. Probably going to be a show should be in the middle of the card, and we are guaranteed a title change one way or another. Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks. Don't you roll your eyes at me, Slack. The TBS champion. I will fight you on this show. I will fight you on this show.
You thought the Boston segment was bad.
I will fight you on this show.
Remember, Slack, there's one word you can't say.
I can't whip out all reliable.
No.
So, going up against,
I would never.
Going up to the current NJPW Strong Women's Champion, Stephanie Vaquer, title for title on the line. Now, if we remember, Mercedes Moné dropped the New Japan Strong Women's title because due to injury. Before that, Mercedes and Stephanie had several matches in New Japan, and I think the Women's Strong division, and from what I've seen, they were really good. Their styles mesh well together. Stephanie Vaquer is one of the hottest people not signed in WWE, gender notwithstanding. She is on a tear. She holds a title in like she literally holds like a world title in like 3 different continents. Okay, it's kind of absurd at the moment how she is right now. She's shown up on Dynamite. Mercedes Moné showed up in Mexico just recently, I think last week. This is a pretty hot feud. Everybody knows where I'm going to stand with this. I'm always going to go with Mercedes. She has been trying to hunt for this NJPW title. Listen, everybody knows what it is. She's been trying to get this title. I think this is the time that she does it. Like I said, it would be surprising to me that somebody that's not fully signed to AEW, like Stephanie Vaquer, is not, that we know of currently, would take an AEW title on the road. That's not what AEW does. AEW takes other people's world titles and puts it on their show for several. Look what happened to TNA/Impact. Look what's going on to New Japan right now.
Yeah, TNA's just like, wow, WWE just does this way better.
That's crazy.
So with that being said, that is my stuff on Mercedes. I think she's going to win just for that logic aside, and of course my personal fanboy bias. But Mr. YLP, before we get to Slack, because he is priming For
Don't
who's
worry,
prime
Ricky.
for this?
I got the button ready. You know which one.
I think so. Okay. Oh, okay, that one. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. YLP. What else do we need to know about Stephanie Vaquer?
Pretty much what you said, because like I've just like heard about her recently personally. Found out she has 3 belts. Kind of a big fucking deal, especially with the NJP Strong Women's Championship. But let's just forget Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné when Moné injured her ankle. As far as I know, Moné was supposed to win that, injury notwithstanding and all that good shit. It's Moné's to lose. She's taking this championship, and I've kind of been waiting on NJPW Strong to give her this belt. Perfect time to do it. Just put that damn belt on her and let her rock.
Yeah, unfinished business, I think, because of the injury, and then she showed up in AEW.
Pretty much.
So we'll see what happens to that. Slack, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I had to keep it for you.
No, I won't.
Let the man cook. Let the man cook.
I will talk about this match, but then I will talk about my own personal feelings towards Mercedes Moné.
Mm-hmm.
This match will be a good match for sure, because as much as I hate to admit it, Mercedes Moné doesn't know the meaning of the word bad match. I can't remember the last match that I saw of hers, whether it was under the Sasha Banks moniker or Mercedes Moné, that was bad. So
She's got a point.
Her winning is really the only outcome, because, like you guys have already said, AEW doesn't let other companies take their championships. It has to be the other way around, because they're the other cable TV show, right?
Other cable TV show.
Well,
Impact has a show on Thursdays.
That
TNA,
said,
my fault.
That said, my personal opinion, because a lot of this, like a lot of what I talk about, is mainly just my personal opinions about certain wrestlers. Mercedes Moné could break me in half with like a fucking flick of a wrist, which is fine.
It's facts.
But my problem with her and her fans are actually probably worse than she is when it comes to buying into the bullshit.
You hear that, Ricky?
Listen.
Not all of you specific.
Not me specifically.
Listen.
Me and her were good friends at Comic-Con. I made the Instagram story. God damn it.
That's fine. That's fine.
There is a very fine
that's the fact, though.
of Sasha Banks fans, Mercedes Moné fans, that are very much like Bianca Belair fans, very much like Liv Morgan fans. That it's like
wait, hold on, time out. Slack, you're a massive Liv Morgan fan.
I am.
Okay.
That said,
okay.
but that said, I am very much aware of the fact every fan base has its toxicity, and that's what my main point is that a lot of my personal grievances towards Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, comes from the fandom. That said, though, Sasha Banks came into the main roster of WWE at a time where that main roster's main focus was fucking Nikki Bella, right? So
yeah, it was.
the bar
God help us.
The bar is on the floor at that point. So you could put on a 10-minute match and still be the best women's wrestler on the roster.
Wait.
Yes, it's exactly the one I thought about.
Are you telling me that Sasha Banks is only good because everyone else was so bad? Is that the point you're trying to make?
No.
Thank God, because that would be the most false thing you could ever say. Are you trying to say Sasha Banks is the tallest kid in kindergarten? Like,
no. What I'm saying is that her stock went up as high as it did because she was so good at a time where everything was so shit.
NXT TakeOver NXT TakeOver Brooklyn won the most watched match in NXT history. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
we're
for
at
sure.
A point
I've watched
women
4 times.
in Western
tongue tire. Come on, let's get it together.
Wrestling.
Take a deep breath.
Western
women's wrestling.
Yeah. We're at a point in time now where the Nikki Bella, Brie Bella types of female wrestlers are a dying breed.
Until Chelsea Green loses Money in the Bank.
So, meaning untalented.
So
in terms of in-ring.
And Mercedes Moné has gone on record and said this, that she thinks that she is the greatest women's wrestler of all time.
Yeah,
Get the fuck
I
out of
don't buy
here.
that for even
I can make an
a
argument.
second.
It depends.
And-
Here's the thing, Slack.
but
It
we're
depends.
at-
I wish
but-
you
It
luck.
depends how you define wrestling. This
What
is actually being
what I
serious
will
now.
say is
We
that
did
Sasha,
Bret Hart scale this once. I remember we did.
We
that.
did Bret Hart scale her.
Yeah.
What I will say is that at a
She came out at
time,
number 2, I think.
at a time where WWE really needed women to step up, Sasha Banks was one of those women.
104.
And she absolutely, at a time, was the best women's wrestler on the planet. For sure. For sure. Her run where even as much as people hated the hot potatoing between her and Charlotte, every match was a banger.
It was rivalry of the year.
But we're at a
It was,
point
but
now.
Sasha Banks
Yeah.
has never had a successful. Well, no, she did until 2020. She never had a successful title defense.
I think she always lost to Charlotte.
I'll make this my last
Yeah.
point because I feel like this might
Yep.
get me a lot of flack from people.
Ooh.
Sasha Banks has been the same wrestler with the same. She's wrestled the same for the last 8 years.
You know how long The Rock's been doing the people's elbow?
Shawn Michaels.
I know, I
Shawn
understand
Michaels
that,
is always
but I'm
wrestling the
talking
same
about
match.
a lot because of how much women's wrestling is changing. It's crazy to say it like this, but Sasha Banks feels like or Mercedes Moné still feels to me like she's still stuck in the past. Like she's still trying to prove a point.
I don't know. Slack. I think after 8 years, the industry finally caught up. That doesn't mean
her?
she fell behind. It means everyone else caught up.
But that's what I mean.
she-
Is we're at a
That
point
makes
now where
I think
everyone's
she's
everyone's
on
at her
par
level
with.
to the point
hell
where she
yes.
doesn't stand out as special anymore. She's not.
That's fair.
She's
That's
as
fair.
good
Yeah, that's
as
fair.
there are
Okay.
5 women
Yeah.
on WWE's main roster and on AEW's roster that are at the exact same level, if not above the level of Mercedes Moné.
Like you can make the difference. There's really not much of a difference between Sasha Banks and like a Tiffany Stratton.
No.
Oh,
We'll
we have
skip
some. We'll skip
No,
that one. Okay.
I do
Hey,
really
am I wrong?
I do enjoy Tiffany Stratton
Tiffy
as a
time.
wrestler. I think she's great.
Tiffy.
But-
Great character, solid in ring, better on the mic. Like yeah.
I just think that Mercedes Moné doesn't have that shine that she used to because she's not as one in a
Well,
million
it's because she didn't go back to WWE. That's why.
Yeah.
Because she chose
Well,
AEW.
no, I'm not even saying
Yeah.
that like about. I'm not saying when I say shine, I'm not even talking about like her stock. I'm just saying like when you watch her wrestle, it doesn't feel like this
Mega event.
event anymore. It just feels
Right,
like another
but
really good
WWE can
women's
help
match.
put that shine on you.
That's on the company, and it's not on the performer.
Exactly.
Like look at Cody. Cody is literally doing the exact same character as he did in AEW,
And we
except now he's going
love
for the
it.
title belt. And we fucking hated it in AEW, but WWE put the right shine on, did the right marketing, and we fucking ate it up.
And stop them from
They
bleeding.
made it look
And stop
lovely.
them
And
from
I don't know. I really want to know how
Yeah.
they did it because that is how you make $1 billion.
Yeah, I don't know.
They just manipulate you through television.
But
It's
AEW
fucking amazing.
treating the Mercedes Moné signing like the signing of like Sting and CM Punk to me was like so fucking ridiculous. They were like,
that's
oh,
an AEW problem. They treat every
I know.
signing
Is
as
that
the biggest thing going.
every signing and every breaking news is a big deal. It's like oh my god, like
It's-
we
but it's
we
not,
have one
though.
of the hottest indie talents coming onto TV and it's fucking Leo Rush. Right? It's like y'all
I mean,
said
Yeah,
hottest talent.
they overplayed their hand.
Dude,
Yeah,
the fuck
it's,
were the fucking Jack.
It's very WCW in its prime. Anywho,
It's show don't it's tell don't
I
show.
mean, keep in mind she came in at the same time as Osprey and
like a week.
Okada.
They're like weeks apart from each other.
That's the other thing is that AEW
Yeah.
like they did the Adam Cole Danielson thing
Baby.
and everyone loved it and they were like, hey, what if we did that all the time? And it's like,
Yeah, exactly.
but it doesn't work anymore because everyone expected it to be Danielson. So when it's Cole, the reaction is like, oh my god. And then when it's Danielson too, it's like, oh my god. But then it's like, oh hey, AEW's been in the talks with Mercedes Moné, Will Ospreay, and Okada. And by the way, they're all coming within a month of each other.
Yeah, they jumped the shark with their surprise stuff, so it's lost its shine.
This should
Anywho,
have been,
They
this
didn't
should have
make
been
it
Okada's
special.
first match for AEW. Like, should have been this card, in my personal opinion.
yeah, no, Okada had been there for a while, so when he showed up, we're like, oh, okay, Okada's here a little bit more permanently. Yay, great.
There's
Anywho,
no one else find it so. Last point. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's fine.
There's no one else find. is it weird to anybody else? And Mr. YLP can probably feel as weird as I am about this. How fucking weird is it to see Okada on weekly television?
Very.
It is the weirdest feeling because he doesn't, and again, he doesn't feel as special as he used to. Because when Okada would show up, it'd be like, oh my god, it's fucking Okada. Like, he's here. Like, there's no way. And now it's just like, it's Wednesday and Okada's here. Because he
he got
fucking has to be.
exposed. He got a little exposed.
I mean, if the
funny as hell, though.
clothesline didn't expose him.
This is how weird it feels.
He is so funny, though. He is.
Bro, this is how.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like this is how weird it feels.
Yeah.
Okada and AEW on weekly television is as weird as when the first time we saw Okada rocking pants in New Japan. It didn't feel right.
That's
I'm
fair.
serious. Like
I fully agree.
Fans wrestled in shorts the entire time I saw Okada, like since like 2016. All of a
Jericho
sudden, man's
switched
is wearing
trunks.
pants and shit. And like what the? Like, I'm like, huh? It doesn't feel right. It doesn't make sense. So to see Okada in AEW feels weird as hell.
Yeah. It's like
It
when
just feels
Ricochet
weird. I'm
went
just
from
like,
pants
no.
to tights in like 2022. It's like, what are you doing? Like, it's just. He's funny as hell though. Like he's a comedy wrestler stuck in the body of the world's best wrestler because bitches is so fucking funny. It has no right to be as funny.
It's
as
because of the accent, but everything comical about Okada is that finisher of a clothesline.
No comment.
Anywho,
Rainmaker is one of the best moves.
it's a clothesline. JBL does it better. Anywho,
JBL does do it.
JBL does a lot.
Oh, he does.
Yes, he
Watch
does.
your
Dude,
mouth.
would you want to take a
follow-through.
JBL clothesline? I don't think
I'll
so.
take a Rainmaker all day. I wouldn't take.
You know,
You wanna take a Rainmaker too?
Okada's I'd
Okada's
survive.
a
JBL's I
big guy.
have brain damage.
Having seen Okada live, the dude is huge in person. So like that
So is
Rainmaker would hurt like
JBL's
hell.
beefy.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. JBL is also hitting you with anger and vengeance.
Yeah.
Okada's just wrestling.
Yeah, JBL.
Okada's gonna bow before and after he hits you. JBL's just gonna hit you twice.
JBL's hitting you with the entire
And
power
you're
of the
still
NRA
going to be
behind
in
him.
pain.
Yeah,
after.
JBL's hitting you with a little bit of like a pinch of Jim Crow in there as well. Like that's how
But
JBL
Like
Yeah.
the bare
hits
arms, like
you.
just like
That's how JBL hits you.
JBL would hit me harder because I'm Italian, right? Like,
Just on principle.
Yeah, that's the JBL thing for you. But Will, I need a final answer. You going with Mercedes? You're going with Miss McHare?
No, I'm gonna go with Mercedes as well. She's a WWE guy. Of course, she wins.
Yeah, again, and also the theory of you don't spend so much money on Mercedes and just have her lose at one of your premier events.
Wouldn't it be
Yeah,
funny,
same with
though?
Okada.
Absolutely
Like I hear Okada's on weekly television. I'm like, yeah, he fucking better be. What do you mean? Of
Funny,
course.
though.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's move on here to we're almost halfway done, but we have the Owen Hart quarterfinal matchup. Owen Hart Foundation tournament, because that's the thing with those really, really weird belts, and hopefully Martha Hart does not show up and make this 5-hour pay-per-view a 7-hour one.
Yeah.
Please
I
God,
can't believe
no.
Tony was like, take all the time you need,
No,
thinking she was gonna be like,
Tony.
all right, 45 seconds.
No,
bet.
Tony, don't do it. This is a
No.
quarterfinal
No,
matchup, and this
no,
is the
no.
Daniel Bryan dream match tour that he's been on ever since he showed up in AEW.
I mean, good for him,
Yeah.
man.
Let him do what he wants.
I ain't
Yeah,
mad.
Brian Danson versus again NJPW stalwart, and just he hits hard. Shingo Takagi. So, Mr. Wildpea, can you give me a little bit more on Mr. Shingo Takagi?
Tails is gonna fucking die. That's what's gonna happen.
Shingo Takagi, a personal favorite of mine in New Japan, former never openweight champion, lost to Hanare recently. But this dude kicks your ass. This man went undefeated in Best of Super Juniors. This man does not look like a junior, but NJPW decided, yeah, let's make this beefy motherfucker.
He looks like somebody's
undefeated
senior.
run. Yeah. Lost to Will Ospreay in the final, which was crazy in my eyes. But this is just a Danielson retirement tour, and this is one hell of a stop. Takagi's a beast, and he hits you like you literally beat the hell out of his grandmother for no reason.
Jeez.
Oh no, there was a reason. They just won't tell you.
Takagi will never tell you. This man, since he's joined New Japan, he's just been amazing. And for Danielson to just be like, yeah, I want Takagi, you're in for a
Fucking
long night. You're in for a long night. Takagi's being up with the best of them. Okada, freaking Ishii.
Evil.
I believe he faced Murder Grandpa Minoru Suzuki, and that was just fun. Danielson's going to have the time of his life in this match against Takagi. I mean,
Yeah. I just want to know.
I'm going with Danielson. I'm going with Danielson as crazy as that sounds, because it just makes sense in my mind. But man, Takagi's going to put on a show.
I'm not going with Danielson
It's gonna be
because
fun.
honestly, Bryan Danielson really tests out his neck and concussion protocol every time he gets in that ring. And whoever his doctor was,
He's going to
and
after
whoever
this.
his doctor was, I need to find him because apparently that man works miracles because Bryan Danielson is still wrestling and still, like, he almost lost an eye to Okada last year. Okay. Okay. And he's still wrestling. Whoever the doctors that Bryan Danielson saw need to be given a raise, and I want to be one of their patients for whenever things go bad for me because apparently they work miracles.
Yep.
Bryan Danielson's going to get his.
Takagi's
Yeah.
going to beat that man.
It's
He's
going to
gonna
be a
beat that
slaughter. This is
man.
what Gunther should have done to Sammy, which he almost did at WrestleMania.
Facts.
I see Bryan Danielson as the guy who's like he's Bryan Danielson's the guy that's too into pro wrestling that's also a pro wrestler.
Yeah, I think it's my turn to say something controversial.
He's that fan that's like, I could fucking do that.
Yeah.
Dude, Bryan Danielson just fucking hates his family.
All right, hold on. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Who hates their family?
Then Moxley
Who hates
does
their
too.
family more? Bryan
Apparently.
Danielson or Seth Rollins?
Oh, dude, fuck, dude, that's really close.
Oh shit!
No.
We're bringing that topic up? Okay,
Bryan
hold on.
Danielson hates his family. Seth just hates his wife.
Okay.
That's a fair point.
Like,
That's a fair
you know what I mean?
point.
Like he loved being home alone with the daughter. Because once she came back, he was like, nope.
Time to get back on the road.
I am enjoying.
Hey, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Seth Rollins is like, I can finally jerk off in the hotel again.
Seth Rollins said he was going to the store and never came back.
For real.
Even as
Seth's like, I'm gonna take the daughter.
That's gonna be a fight.
Seth is offering to take the daughter just to give Becky more alone time, so he can just be away.
so I'm guessing you're going with Bryan Danielson there, Will Terrace.
No, I'm gonna go with the other guy.
Shingo Takagi.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson just
Not a bad
Bryan-
choice.
The other half of Bryan Danielson's just like, I just want to wrestle everyone. Is he loves losing.
Yeah, he's like, hit me harder. I wanted to go
He's
to
like,
Japan
I
for
am
this.
the underdog who never wins. Yes.
Takagi's gonna give him everything he wants and then.
Slag.
Like,
I want to be able to I still want to be able to play with my daughter, but I want you to keep me like real close to being not able to.
Yeah, that's the Bryan Danielson lore right there. Just loves to takes a lick and keeps on taking.
yeah, dude. TK just goes, Daniel Bryan, I got good news and better news for you. The good news is you're going up against Shingo Takagi. The better news is you're gonna lose. And he just goes,
Ooh, Chavo.
That's
For real
yeah.
though. Oh man.
Shingo Takagi's beating Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson will still like bow to him at the end of the match for some reason because that's what Bryan Danielson would do.
he's gonna bow on one leg.
Yes. The MJF Homecoming show.
You won't
MJF
understand.
Whoa.
MJF is.
I never gave my opinion on the last.
I thought you did.
It doesn't. It
And we
doesn't
know
matter.
what's gonna happen. But yes, like if you must,
I was
like,
just gonna say that Bryan Danielson's trying too hard to make you forget that he's Daniel Bryan, and it works.
that's true.
Does work.
It
It does work.
It works.
It's the tour of hey,
It does
it's what you
work.
could have had in WWE, but you didn't.
Yeah.
Shingo Takagi will kick you so hard that it will change your eye color. So
what Bryan
like,
Danielson
it's-
wants.
Line is insane.
Wow, what a
yeah, you
what
will
a
skip
bar.
a birthday. You will skip a birthday with how hard that man kicks you.
Let's move on to MJF giving a match because it's on Long Island. MJF lives like 15-20 minutes away or grew up 15-20 minutes away from here. MJF, this will probably open the show because it's MJF. MJF is going to go up against I believe it's Hechicero, if I say that correctly. From CMLL, if I remember, if I'm actually correct with that. So this is actual Forbidden Doors about somebody from another company versus somebody from another company. There's no titles on the line. This is an all-star game. type event.
Done.
Comment Slack. We're gonna let you go first on this. Yes.
Okay, I have feelings about MJF.
We all do.
Personally.
We all do.
I'll get the button ready.
MJF is.
Oh shit.
People talk about how MJF is like the modern day CM Punk. Like he's the, he's the guy on the stick.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not that he's the modern day CM Punk. The first comparison that people make about MJF is immediately to CM Punk.
Yes.
Because he's all business, no bullshit in his promos. You believe every word that comes out of his
Acting
mouth.
school did good for him.
Sidebar that has nothing to do with this. I love MJF. I love CM
I'll
Punk.
let it slide.
Sidebar, whatever.
Sideberg.
Fine.
Listen to the show, Slack Sideberg. We've been doing this for years.
Okay, fine. I still think Eddie Kingston is the best in the business on the mic.
Yes, he is.
That's just,
yes, he is.
That's just a quick point I want to make. But however, that said, the main comparison to MJF is CM Punk, and it makes sense. For me, I see more of Chris Jericho in MJF.
They are both really douchey.
For one reason, for one reason and one reason only, and that is adaptability. Because MJF has seamlessly made a transition from the most hated heel in all of wrestling to one of the most beloved faces. And it was seamless, and it was beautifully done, and it never once felt forced.
And all it took was for him to dress up like Triple H coming back at the Garden for it to work.
But that's my point. Is that
so funny?
With someone like Jericho, Jericho reinvents himself, and then eventually he gets to a point where he hits where he is now, and we'll get to that when we get to the Jericho
no,
match.
we're not getting to the Jericho match. It's not on there.
Oh, then fuck Chris Jericho.
There you go. That's all we need to know. Continue.
But I'm at a point where I was actually getting sick of MJF, and then I'm back fully on board with him. I'm just wondering how, I like the idea that they're going with an Ospreay feud for him after this, but I feel like it's going to cause the momentum of his rivalry with Cole to slow down to a point that no one's going to care by the time we actually get that.
I didn't care about it when he returned. I was like, oh yeah, they had a thing. Yeah.
And you're also a Mercedes Moné fan, so
you're a Liv Morgan fan. How does it feel about Dom's taking your spot?
Good for him.
I don't know, man.
Good for him.
She's doing pretty well on her own.
She is.
I don't mind giving her more TV time. Who needs to get cut? Oh no! Like Dragon gets cut. Fuck.
I got a beautiful blonde girl in love with me in real life anyway, so I'm fine with that.
I mean,
Dom can have her. I got my own blonde girl.
Yeah, but it's not Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan gets people nuggets. I saw Raw last night.
Liv Morgan works at Hooters, all right? She has skills.
She does have skills. She does have skills.
She'll bring a rupee in record time.
That's true. That's true. Hooters waitresses are good.
I still can't.
They're incredible, dude.
That whole storyline is just insane. Like
they earn their tips.
They do.
Like
the wings are good, though. I will admit, the wings are good.
The wings are good.
That's what everybody forgets. The wings are good.
Wings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're better than strip club wings.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. It's called spade a spade.
Yeah.
Did you see the video of her after she retained her title and she did the hug?
How many times did you watch that? So a lot. I
have it as a notification.
Yep, I knew it. And I'm bad.
I like that.
But anyway, before we move on to this, couple of things. Mr. Wappy, what do you know about Hechicero?
Absolutely fucking
good.
Dude, he looks like a gay Aquaman villain.
Actually, that's a good point.
Look at him.
As I said
he looks
on the
ridiculous.
YLP podcast, this is literally a glorified home game. Nothing more, nothing less. MJF wins, we cheer, we keep it fucking
pretty much.
Pretty
much. All right, real quick. I was today years old when I found out that MJF took his tagline from Dodgeball.
I'm better than you. Oh yeah, dude, come on. You didn't know that? I'm better than you and I know it.
It makes sense.
I didn't know he took it from Globo Gym.
Yeah, which we're better than you.
And we know it.
We know it.
And I know it.
For a point of mention, Hechicero was rated number 35 in the top 500 PWI in 2022.
2022.
He is
2022, though.
He is a 3-time champion in Mexico across different promotions. And he's also a former WWA Independent Wrestling Champion. So the guy's got some history.
He does have some history. And I doubt AEW is going to play him up to his prestige because it's going to be the MJF Homecoming show.
No.
Which is the sad thing about this Forbidden Door. You need to be playing up these people.
Oh my god. Hechicero means wizard in Spanish. And Rey Hechicero, which is his other name, means Wizard King. And the fact that we are not getting the Wizard King versus MJF is now really
I want Rey
upsetting me.
Hechicero versus Rey Mysterio. King Mystery versus Wizard King. That writes itself.
Right.
Absolutely.
God, it sounds so good.
But it's so entertaining. I'd watch it.
Baby.
I'd watch it so bad.
Send it in right under the right at the deadline.
Oh my god, yeah. On the same, I mean, Forbidden Door is going on the same day as Pride Parade too in New York City. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a wild turnover for that. Oh yeah, this match I am really not looking forward to because this match can either go one way. It's gonna be really slow. Zack Sabre Jr., who is a snail when it comes to wrestling pace, versus
that's just another word for boring, dude. He's fucking boring.
Technically,
I remember him at
brilliant. It was Evolve. It was our first Evolve show. Technically,
it was Evolve. He was also on the cruiserweight tournament or something.
He was, yeah. Zack Sabre Jr.
He was fucking boring.
Technically brilliant, ZSJ. Technically brilliant.
Technically speaking.
Just
technically boring.
Just really,
Technically
just
speaking,
really a snore to watch sometimes. You're really not into that style of wrestling. And Orange Cassidy is Orange Cassidy because he does. Orange Cassidy is what Orange Cassidy is. I have no idea how this match is going to go.
You know what Zack Sabre Jr. is? He's really, really good at the worst part of wrestling.
Yeah.
It's like you're really good at chain wrestling. Oh wow. So fill an arena, why don't you? Like, come on, dude.
Really nice guy, though. Really nice guy.
It's a quick time event in real life.
Yeah.
A real time event. Video games, whatever it is.
Quick time.
Yeah, so like I don't know where this is going. Orange Cassidy is kind of those things I like Slack has said with other people. It's kind of lost its luster after a while.
Oh, I got some.
You know, so I don't know who takes this. I really don't care who takes this right now. But just to shake things up, because I feel like Will's gonna go with Orange Cassidy, I'm gonna go with Zack Sabre Jr.
I'm going with Zack Sabre Jr.
Damn it, Will.
Yeah, I know. I do. You bury him just to lift him back up. What can I tell you? It's a catch-22. You don't know what you never know.
Slack, you have some comments on this match.
I have a few comments, but I'll make them quick, which is faster than Zack. I'll make them faster than Zack.
We got one more match to go, so
that's fine. Okay, then I'll take a bit.
Don't do that. No, just keep the pace you wanted to do. I have to edit this. Remember. First
off, Zack Sabre Jr. is the human equivalent of Ambien. That's the starting. That's the starting point.
Wow. Fucking wow.
And for me, Orange Cassidy is like. So I have a very weird relationship with Orange Cassidy. I didn't like him at first, and then I watched his match with Pac, and I was like, oh, okay, I get that. I get this, and this is fucking great. But it gets to a point where, like, the I'm too cool for this 7th grader gimmick gets to a point where
he does that like a 7th grader.
Where there was a point, like, I know I keep saying this about a lot of people, and like, it's just because wrestling can get really stale really fucking fast, really fast. And with a gimmick like Orange Cassidy's, it's something that you can only do so much with. And because, again, it's an over gimmick, but it's not a versatile gimmick. You can only do guy that doesn't care is really good when he cares so many times. And I feel like there was a missed opportunity, and that feels like the fucking tagline for AEW is like just AEW missed opportunities.
It's next pay per view.
And
The new pay-per-view.
Next pay per view.
exactly. It's like every match on the card is like shuffled out of order. It's like, oh, we had Orange Cassidy
it's the
versus
people who
Trent Beretta,
lost
but
on the
now it's
previous
Trent Beretta
pay-per-view.
versus like Julia Hart. But the thing is that they had a really good opportunity to make Orange Cassidy really interesting again, and they didn't take it. Because when he lost that, what is it, the All Atlantic
I
Championship?
think it's the international title now or something. I don't remember.
The intercontinental
Intercontinental continental title.
I'm just gonna call it the Intercontinental. It's easier. When he lost the Intercontinental Championship, it like devastated him, and like he doesn't care, but he really didn't care after he lost that belt, and then he got it back, and everything was fine again, and then he lost again, and it was like whatever. But there was a time in there where it was like, what if they turned Orange Cassidy heel because he's so focused on getting that belt back that he cares too much, and now he's like hurting people that like he shouldn't be hurting. Because Trent Beretta being the one that broke out the Best Friends was kind of silly. I feel like it should have been Orange Cassidy when he was trying to get that All Atlantic title back. And I think it would have been funny also because you can still make Orange Cassidy be the I don't care guy, but as a heel. Because all you got to do is just make him wear black denim instead of blue denim.
Actually,
And
that would
that's
work
Orange
perfectly.
Cassidy as a heel.
It would work.
And putting him
Oh,
with
dude,
Zack
the
Sabre
Tony
Jr. It
Del
just
Vecchio version of Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
Dude,
putting
fuck
someone
yeah.
like Orange Cassidy with someone like Zack Sabre Jr. does not. It feels like a match that was specifically made to make people talk about it on Twitter, and like because it doesn't. To me, it doesn't make sense. If it was something like when there was Pac versus Cassidy, it made enough sense because Cassidy can wrestle a Pac style match. No one can wrestle a Zack Sabre Jr. style match because Zack Sabre Jr. is just Zack Sabre Jr. His opponent's asleep by the time he gets to the ring. So, I don't know. It's just, I don't give a fuck about this match, even in the slightest. So, if I had to pick somebody, I guess Zack Sabre Jr. via Don Callis family shenanigans. Because I don't think he wins clean. I think Trent Beretta gets involved somehow.
Don Callis family, Kenny Omega's former faction. You know, when Kenny was wrestling.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. Now
Yeah.
Zack Sabre Jr.'s in it? Okay.
No. Zach's not in it. Trent is, and Trent's feuding with Orange Cassidy. So I feel like Trent's going to cost Cassidy the match
Yeah.
somehow.
Before we move on, Mr. YLP, do you have any comments about
Got it.
Orange
Got it.
Cassidy, the man who can't do who tried to steal Roman Reigns' finisher and failed, and Zack Sabre Jr.
Hey, I got no problem with the Orange Punch, dude.
Orange Punch is funny as hell. I'll give him that. That's funny as hell.
Orange Punch is
Great
funny as well,
move.
yeah, I like
He
that.
looks great doing it too.
Yes. I'll give him that.
He has like no
This
airtime on
just-
that jump. Like,
That's what makes it great, though. It's Orange Cassidy. I'm just mediocre at everything.
he like
Anyway,
pops.
Mr. YLP, floor is yours. What do you got
And
on
still
this
works.
match, if anything?
This match itself, when I'm like looking at the card and making predictions or whatever, this is the why the fuck are we here?
This is
match?
where I go get a shit ton of food.
Piss break.
This will be second on the card after MJF gets his hometown, glory and
main
whatnot,
event.
and no one will care. With that being said, Zack Sabre Jr. wins, and also fuck Chris Jericho and the learning tree, whatever the fuck that is. It's a straight up indictment on fucking everything that Brian Keith shouldn't be involved in. There you go.
Oh yeah, Brian Keefe is a part of that. Sorry about that. All right, one more match. It's the match Slag is most looking forward to, and one that AEW doesn't actually have a card thing for. But the TNT Championship, that's a thing, folks. There's another title, the TNT title. Remember that belt?
Yeah,
Remember
bang.
that was a secondary belt, and it's not anymore.
Gonna bang so hard.
TNT.
I can't wait till the off TNT and it's still a TNT belt.
Yeah.
This is match of the night. This is match of the night.
You
I don't
shut
care
your
what
whore
anyone
mouth,
says.
Slack. Anywho, the TNT.
Match of the night.
Jesus
The
Christ.
TNT.
Dude, they gave the network a title belt and they still can't get a
On the
TV deal.
network.
They gave them
Exactly.
two. They gave them two.
Why can't they just be like why can't they just rename the fucking belt?
I don't know. Anywho, They've been doing
Anyway, list off the people.
They've been
in this
doing
match.
qualifying matches for this TNT Championship ladder match. Very money in the bankish. But the winner gets the vacant TNT Championship. Because remember, Edge was Edge and injured himself because Edge is old and injured himself in a match.
Old man from
Yes.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
They break down.
Yeah,
faster.
Edge forgot that he shouldn't be taking dives off of the top of a steel cage against Aleister Black.
Why should Edge
Even
not
Brian
be taking
Danielson's
top?
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting top all the time.
Yeah.
You usually pay double for
Yeah.
that, Cotton.
So
That's 2 TNT titles.
So the TNT Championship ladder match participants that we know of thus far, Dante Martin, the
Banger.
ROH champion, Mark Briscoe. Remember when ROH was a thing?
Banger.
remember when Tony?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
And he's like,
no
oh
shame
wait,
here,
this
it's
shit
just
is
me.
fucking
Yeah.
useless.
Yeah, they're on Honor Club or whatever. Oh God. Anywho, so now
Okada.
we have that's not okay. No, it's Konosuke Takeshita is going to be this Jack Perry because he used to be a pillar of AEW, and surprise, surprise,
Remember what
out
happened?
of retirement for the umpteenth time, Lio Rush has returned to participate in this title match, and someone else to be named for the vacant TNT Championship. I'm gonna go on record right now. It's at this point, fucking give it to Jack Perry. I don't know, do something. I don't see anybody else who's formidable, and no one in ROH affiliation is going to win the TNT title. I'm just saying that right now. But it's either gonna be Takeshita or Jack Perry. I don't even care who the vacant person is, who that might be, but I'm going to go with Jack Perry Fish, Turnbuckle Al, the Brooklyn Brawler. But Slack, you are very You're very excited for this. What are your thoughts on this TNT Championship ladder match?
First off, I think again, I don't know if he's injured or not because I feel like if he wasn't injured, he would be on TV. But I feel like Kushida would be a good fit for this final spot. So I'm hoping it's Kushida. I hope it's just somebody from NJPW. It has to be somebody. That said, I'm very underwhelmed by who's actually in the match. For a couple
You're
of
underwhelmed.
reasons. A little bit. I'm still very excited for the match. I still think this has potential to be match of the night. But my problem with it is Lio Rush, and I hate to say it because some people might not like this, Mark Briscoe.
No, I'm fine with that.
I don't like it's okay. I have to really word this.
I know where you're going with
this.
this, and I can't wait for this. Let's hear it, Slack.
Oh, so I can't wait to say Slack does
No,
it's
not that. It's not that. It's not that.
he's been
No, it's
bagging
someone
on
else
all
with
of
Mark
them.
Briscoe.
No,
I know
and like this is like me being as
Oh,
serious as I can
Are
be.
you gonna feel like it's the pity win because his brother died?
It's not necessarily the pity win. It's just like
Pity push.
essentially, yeah. And like I don't like saying that because Mark Briscoe is good, but he was only good as a tag wrestler. He's passable as a singles wrestler. You know what I mean? So it's like he made the transition to singles wrestler kind of because he had to. And that's not anything against, him to continue to be on TV the week after, not even a week after it happened. Absolute respect to Mark Briscoe forever for that. But it's just he doesn't fit the style of the match either. That's the other thing. Is that I feel like he's just in there to like be like how every ladder match has like that one guy that's like he's out of the loop. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense that he's there.
Yeah.
He's just there for that reason. But this felt like a really good opportunity again for someone like the guy from Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy, I think is his name, right?
Private Party was a thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah, this could have been a great match for him to,
Remember the Max Caster and the other guy,
Anthony Bones.
Anthony Bones, yeah.
I just feel like this could have. I feel like it could have been more interesting if they put someone like, honestly, and it could still happen because there is an opening spot. I think Juice Robinson would have been fucking fantastic to have.
Oh, the juice is loose, baby.
He would have been so fun to have in this match. And why Lio Rush is in this match, I don't fucking understand.
I didn't know Lio Rush was still wrestling.
I assume he's just there to be the alternative weapon when a ladder isn't available.
Spot monkey.
But basically, but you also have Dante Martin there already. And Dante Martin is better than Lio Rush in every aspect. Except for mic work, because Dante Martin, I don't think I've ever actually heard him speak. Point is, I think it'd be funny as hell if Jack Perry didn't win this match. Because it would just make him look like that black sheep that they are already like kind of playing him up to be. You know what I mean? So I think it would just be really funny if like anybody but Jack Perry won this, because then the Bucks could like really run with it, I think, and like make that person defend their belt like week after week after week after week, and then eventually give Jack a match that he then wins the title for.
Having defended on TNT, he'll go undefeated.
Yeah, because the thing is like I feel like AEW ties their own hands sometimes, because they give people the belts for so long that they want them to like have lengthy title runs, but it gets to a point where it's like, well, who's believable to win at this point? Like to win that belt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Tony Storm's been women's champion for I think almost a year now, and it's getting to a point where it's like, who's left? And if Jamie Hayter still isn't healthy, who's next? You know what I mean? So I think to get more longevity out of this title, I think someone like, I feel like Takeshita should win it, personally, because then I feel like that could then lead to Takeshita versus Ospreay too.
Potentially. I mean, who knows? Mr. Wild P, what are your thoughts on this TNT Championship ladder match?
I mean, to me personally, this is just Takeshita, Perry, and a bunch of lads. We just picked out of a damn hat for this TNT Championship. Nothing else matters but these two. I want to see Elite shenanigans. I want to see Don Callis family shenanigans. Yep. I want to see nothing else. Personally, can we just have Takeshita versus Perry and just let the other five, just get a paycheck and can just chill out in catering and whatnot? I'll take that over whatever they're about to do with this.
Lumberjacks.
I'm going with Perry in the end, because why the hell not? But it wouldn't be bad, in my opinion, to see a Takeshita Perry rivalry for some reason. A little bit of a feud over the TNT Championship, and just have Elite shenanigans and Don Callis family shenanigans in that for a couple of months. Let's just do that. I'll do all of that. Take the other five out of here, or however many, and Lio Rush's 900th retirement coming out of whatever the hell. Just Perry wins, but hopefully I get a Takeshita rivalry out of it, because shenanigans.
Well, Tarasuk.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Slag.
Did they announce a blood and guts match between the Elite and like a set of teams, or is that not?
I have not heard anything yet. All the focus I know has been on Forbidden Door.
Okay, because I could have sworn that the Elite set up a match recently that was like, maybe I'm thinking of because they just did Anarchy in the Arena at the last pay-per-view, right?
I don't remember. There's been a lot of pay-per-views in a very short amount of time.
Does Mr. YLP you remember?
Yep, that's the thing.
That's probably what I'm thinking of anyway. But Takeshita for TNT champion.
There you go. Will Tarasuk, pick a wrestler out of bat. Who do you got here?
Oh, Briscoe retains.
Briscoe retains.
Briscoe retains. Because why not?
I'll say this though about the final spot. Can MJF pull a double?
Oh fuck yeah!
We just have
MJF does not need the TNT
the final spot for the TNT Championship. For the memes, bro. For the fucking
wait a
memes.
minute. I have a prediction.
Yeah.
Go.
Sammy Guevara is the last spot.
That would just be too fucking funny.
It will be. Guevara's ready because he's been posting. He's been posting that he's been teasing. I think he's next. For that. I think because
I would pop for that.
He is tied to that fucking belt like Darby Allin is, and because Darby's not available, would Darby be available?
I mean,
he's like, let me rethink that.
Isn't he doing
this is up Darby's alley? Like, he almost died crossing the street, so give Darby a ladder match.
You know what?
That's very
If Darby's healthy, it has to be
died going through glass.
If Darby's healthy, it has to be him. But who is?
That'd be cool.
Or it could be what's his name?
Brian Cage.
No,
That
Why
lost
not?
that lost child that Christian runs around with.
Nick Wayne?
Luchasaurus?
Nick
Wayne.
Wayne.
Yeah, Nick Wayne. Yeah, I
that'd
could
be,
see it being
that'd
him.
be funny as hell.
And
that would be-
like every time like he goes to climb, because it would just be like the Nick Wayne murder show. Because like he would like be like that shithouse that like only gets in the ring like when there's like no one there, and every time he tries to set up a ladder he just gets killed, and then like there's like another 5 minutes and then he tries again and he just gets killed again, and then maybe he wins and Christian makes him give him the belt,
Oh yeah.
and that could
I was
start.
about to say that
Yeah.
shit. What if he just wanted to give it to Christian? I'm like,
That could happen. That could happen as well. So
Okay.
Nick Wayne's mom wins.
wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for AEW. Anyway, folks, that is
She does a James Ellsworth and unclips the belt for Nick Wayne, then drops it to
that's
him.
the best booking you've ever done, Slack. So AEW, that is the AEW
Wow.
Forbidden Door card again, Sunday, June 30th, from Long
Absolutely
Island,
missed
New
any
York.
matches.
No, not. It's only the official matches I saw on AEW.com, and there's only 8 so far. Like I said, Dynamite is tomorrow because we're recording on a Tuesday.
Jericho every
No one gives a damn about Jericho anymore. Anyway,
No, we're
to
not.
watch AEW Forbidden Door, AEW as posted. You can watch it on Bleacher Report, cable, or satellite if you still have that. Apparently, Dave and Buster's nationwide will be showing Forbidden
Yes.
Door.
I've done this.
No,
I've
way.
done
That's
this.
pretty cool.
You know,
I've done
I got
this.
one about a half hour from where I'm at.
Triller
I can go.
TV.
I got a story about Dave and Buster's.
Apparently, you
last
could
night.
purchase it on YouTube, BitTorrents, and Fretzelmania in the chat, payperview.com, because apparently that's a URL. And the Zen, which is also a partnership as well. I do know previously some theaters have shown wrestling pay-per-views in their movie theaters. Like I think they did WrestleMania. They've done AEW shows before, so you can.
I saw Mania Theater.
What, this year's Mania?
No, WrestleMania 32? Whichever one was Triple H Roman.
Oh, that was 32.
The
Yeah,
shit one.
I saw that, and I wanted my money back. But moving on.
Were you the only one in the theater for it, or?
No, my buddy dragged me to it, and it was filled.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a
Maybe
lot
I'll
of
do
fun,
Marks
but
in the movie theater one time along. That'd be interesting to do.
I watched WrestleMania 39 or 38 night 2 at a Dave and Buster's, and that was a lot of fun until I heard a grown man scream bullshit at the top of his lungs when Cody lost. Swear to God. In a room filled with like him and his children, the 3 count comes down and there's just silence. You just hear fucking bullshit and like
Still real. It
Grown
is
man wearing a
still
belt.
real to him, ladies and gentlemen.
oh yeah, he was so mad.
That's amazing.
They rented out a whole room and everything.
Oh, fantastic. Be that as it may, folks, it is now time to crown this event, this potentially massive event for AEW with our crown system, 1 to 10 crowns, 1 being the worst thing that you've ever seen, 10 being the greatest show of all time. We're going to go to our guest. We're going to go to Mr. YLP. How well do you think this Forbidden Door pay-per-view on Long Island, get that straight, folks, will be?
6.5 crowns.
Ooh, okay. Not too high, not too low either. Just a little bit above average.
Something about I mean, it's going to be the undercard that's going to be carrying this. I mean, yeah, you got your big matches, but something tells me it's going to like look at Forbidden Door last year and compared to this year. Yeah,
Last year's card was so insane, man. Being there live was just
that's the point. Like this card has good matches, but also
It's
Zack
lacking.
Sabre Jr. and Orange Cassidy.
You'd be lacking.
Cool.
Maybe? Who knows?
6.5.
Slack, what do you got for me?
As I sit here looking at the match card, I very much agree with Mr. YLP. But on the other side of the scale is that the main card, like the main matches that they're hyping up, is what's going to be the thing that saves this card. That said, 5.5.
Wow.
Because I think
Damn.
you know what? No, I'll 6.5. I'll agree with Mr. YLP. For different reasons, though. I think that the problem is that the quality of matches is not where it should be or could be.
And it feels like the only way I can put this is that it feels like this card was put together because it had to be.
Yep.
The first two Forbidden Doors, but even for me, especially last year's Forbidden Door, felt special. Like it was just like, oh my god, like we're getting Ospreay Omega, we're getting Okada Danielson, we're getting Punk and Kojima, right?
Kojima.
And like even some of the other matches I can't think of off the top of my head, like the friggin' 10-man tag was stupid fun. And now this year, it's just kind of, to me, it feels like, well, it's Forbidden Door season, and we gotta have a fucking card, right? So I feel like the undercard is gonna really underperform. I feel like there could be a couple of like little sneaky bangers in there, but I don't think we're gonna be talking about this card in a month's time.
Interesting. Will Tower Shock.
That's a damn.
What are you
shame,
giving
too.
this?
Absolutely.
I'll give it 6. I'm not gonna watch it, so who gives a shit?
Yes. Here's the thing. I'm actually going to be the optimist one and give it a 7. I think it's going to be above average, so it's going to be slightly above 6.5, but a 7, but nothing to really, I think, take home. But here's my take on the problem with the Forbidden Door pay-per-view as it is. There's nothing forbidden anymore about Forbidden Door. The first 2 Forbidden Doors were great because you never saw Okada, you never saw Takeshita, you never saw Ospreay, but guess what? AEW bought them out. They bought all the surprises that you could have, and now you see them every day, and so now you have nobody to surprise them with. That is the issue with AEW partnering with New Japan, as it was in the first place. Okada showed up on TV all the time on AEW TV before they fully signed him. There's no surprise that Okada was coming over. There's nothing big there. Anything that would have been big coming out of New Japan has been shown in AEW outside of Forbidden Door season. There's nothing special about this. To make this special, you have to limit the exposure of all of these outside towns. But AEW wants to play in the sandbox with everybody, except for TNA and WWE, that they bring in all these people that you kind of already see them, you overexpose them, the luster is gone from all of these outside towns. It's either they show up and you don't know who they are, or they show up too much and you know too much about them. There is no aura behind Forbidden Door. They took Forbidden Door, they jumped the shark with them, they burned the door to the ground.
I think the problem that AEW has with Forbidden Door is a problem that WWE still kind of has, but had as a major problem through the 2010s and the early 2020s, and that's themed pay-per-views. Because matches like TLC, Hell in a Cell didn't feel special anymore because it was just like it wasn't like a gimmick. It wasn't like, oh my god, like these two guys hate each other and like it has to happen in Hell in a Cell. Lives will change forever. Like bodies will be broken. And now it's just like, well, it's fucking October. Right?
It's like Bad Blood's coming back.
With Forbidden Door, it's like Ricky said, it's that it doesn't have it. Like I said before, with like Mercedes Moné not having the shine on her anymore, Forbidden Door doesn't have that shine anymore. It's just the AEW and GPW crossover show. That's all it is.
It'd almost be better. It would almost be better if Forbidden Door wasn't a pay-per-view, but like a match type.
Yeah,
like it's a Forbidden Door match coming up at All In.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I could see that. That would be more.
And you do it sporadically,
and
or like every
too.
pay-per-view has one Forbidden Door match or something.
Because I think the other problem that there is with Forbidden Door is that, except for Ospreay, after last year's Forbidden Door, it was just like, okay, well that happened. Like Forbidden Door, here's a good comparison. Forbidden Door to me is AEW Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Where everything is put on hold because this pay-per-view is coming up. So in WWE, you could have like the blood feud of the year going on between like two guys, but nope, it's Brand Warfare season. Now we gotta wear the same t-shirts, right? So now
Thank
it's
God
like
for War Games.
Now, because they made that change with War Games, but now even War Games is getting that watered down feeling because now it's a show. But Yeah, I think what Will said it would be a really good idea is to do like a couple of Forbidden Door matches on a card rather than because you get to a point where it's like you just don't really care. Like I'm kind of like, yeah, the show's coming up, but like, cool. Like it's not gonna matter in a week's time.
Overexposure didn't make it forbidden anymore.
The only
Yeah.
match that's gonna have
Okay.
any like ramifications after this pay per view is the main event. Everything else after that has no validity after this week.
And the main event's not even a Forbidden Door match.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people are like,
now think of it on the New Japan side. Think about the New Japan side of
oh,
things.
they have no benefits here.
Yeah, and going back into when I was here with the squadron, as we went into Wrestle Kingdom, talking about the main event, Naito and Sonata. I even said, and I remember this vividly.
Fuck Sonata.
Sonata, they made the Sonata the guy, but we know for a fact he is not the guy.
No.
Naito took the championship, and then all of a fucking sudden we just gave it to Moxley, which was a weird flex, but okay. Because New Japan is in a period where they've lost Okada, they've lost Ospreay, and if you want to add, Mercedes Moné in the mix,
there's no one left.
Strong sort of things. They lost a hefty amount of people, and Okada was their guy. Like Okada was their top dude, and now he's in AEW. Forbidden Door to me doesn't feel special, knowing that New Japan is now literally in a restarting phase. Yeah. Everything, at least to me, from what I'm seeing personally, starts at G1, and we go from there to Wrestle Kingdom 19. If G1 is as fire as I think it's going to be, and I'll be talking about that on the podcast for Saturday.
G-plug.
This is gonna be a big freaking deal for New Japan, like to try to figure that shit out, because AEW took everything. Tanahashi, as president, now has made a 10-point plan to rebuild New Japan. Again, it sucks that AEW Okadas and Ospreys and all that are AEW, but like Slack said, there is no benefit for New Japan in all of this.
No,
it doesn't feel special. Forbidden Door does not feel as special to me as it did the past couple of years. And it just hurts New Japan, and it hurts my heart as a New Japan dude to see that. And now I have to see New Japan restart kind of all over.
Which is a shame for historically one of the second most powerful companies in all of pro wrestling.
New Japan
Absolutely.
Right now is in a spot that WWE found themselves in when WCW was signing all of their guys. And and the problem that New Japan is going to run into, and like Mr. YLP said, and it's a fucking shame. The problem is that New Japan is in that exact same position. The problem is the lack of exposure. So it wouldn't totally. It sucks to say this, and like you guys might disagree with me, but I think this is where we're going. New Japan Pro Wrestling doesn't exist in 5 years.
Wow.
I really don't think it does. And either it does, either look. Maybe not 5 years, but I feel like New Japan is going to hit a point in the next couple of years. I don't know the exact time frame because no one fucking knows the exact time frame of this. But that period,
because they don't have anyone huge eating up all their salary cap.
But that's what I'm getting at, though, is that the problem that New Japan is going to run into is the same problem that Impact ran into in 2013 to I'd say 2019. No one gives a fuck. Whether it's your diehard, there were TNA diehards that weren't watching TNA. There were times in WWE where I went months without watching WWE. I was a diehard fan, but I was just bored. I didn't care anymore. And
the problem, you also got to add you got to add a few more words to the end of that sentence. No one gives a fuck in America.
That's my point. And that's,
it's like,
but that's the problem.
It's to say they might be out of business in America, but to say they're going to be out of business altogether, I mean, we have no idea how big they are.
They're pretty huge.
Or I should say, Japan. When I said New Japan as a country.
The comparison I was trying to make, though, was back to Impact, where Impact was essentially a WWE feeding system, where it was like, we have these guys that like
NXT or NXT.
We have these guys here that make $250,000 a year doing wrestling for Impact, whereas WWE is like, we'll give you $1 million and you don't even have to wrestle every week, and they just hate the guys. And I feel like New Japan is gonna start having that problem because it's already starting. Because they've lost Osprey, they've lost Mercedes, they've lost Takeshita. They basically lost Takeshita. They've lost.
They're in a rebuilding
Yeah.
phase. You know,
They're
But the
a
problem
huge
is that they don't
rebuilding
have
phase.
that Western exposure that they need to be able to actually rebuild in that phase. So there's a chance the New Japan is stuck in a rebuilding rut way longer than they should be because of the lack of Western exposure. And Forbidden Door is not doing them any fucking
Yeah, I
favors.
think they were hoping.
Yeah,
Western
Absolutely
fans will look at
fucking
these
not.
guys that are coming in to wrestle AEW guys and go, why should I care? They just lost. Like this dude
Yeah.
got his ass beat by MJF in 10 minutes flat. Why should I care about this guy? And then they won't check
So if I'm New Japan, what I do is like I tell TK, listen, this Forbidden Door thing is over. Give me 3 years to build up new stars that are huge in Japan. They come over. You then get some of my audience. You put them over to draw in the American audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
that's what
the
TNA
way
is doing with WWE right now.
Yep.
exactly.
And
But if you're Tony
New
Khan,
Japan,
if you're Tony Khan,
Right.
it's like, well,
That's time, boys.
I don't have the ability to share my audience right now. I fucking need my audience to stay here because my audience is
Yeah.
shrinking. So it's like this Forbidden Door
Yeah.
thing. They're kind of relying on the New Japan fans to come over, but New Japan's kind of relying on the same thing. But there's not enough fans to
There
share
isn't.
between the two of them. It's the same fans. You passed on
and,
the
that,
same.
and that's the
Exactly.
crazy
passed
part
the
about New
same
Japan.
That's
like,
a really
20,000
good-
American fans
That's a
back
good way to put it.
that's a solid way of putting it. Like Tanahashi needs to rebuild New Japan.
Absolutely.
I don't know how long it's gonna take. I'm not sure like who they're gonna build up. You have established talent in New Japan, but there's also a lot of talent that you have to build up.
Yeah.
Like
Like-
look at
like the-
looking
look-
at that.
Go ahead.
No, like looking at their stables, like looking at Bullet Club.
I was
Bullet
just about
Club
to say
don't
the same
feel
thing.
like
I was
Bullet
just about to bring
Club.
Oh,
up
you mean the
Bullet
thing the Elite ruined?
Let's let facts be facts. David Finley as the leader of Bullet Club does not move me an
Weak.
inch. Not even fucking
I forgot
close.
they were still a thing.
With Gato there, like, yeah. And-
Yeah,
and
but
it
at the
doesn't
same time,
feel
Mr.
like
at
Bullet
the same
Club.
time, Mr. YLP, you see Joe Hendry on NXT, you're like, oh shit,
He
okay.
kicked off a show.
Oh, don't tell me what
You
it's
know what
I
I
was
mean?
like, oh shit, when I saw it on Twitter. Like, that's the thing. Like, with the stables that they have in New Japan, all the factions that they have, none of them move me. Just Five Guys does
I
not
got
move me.
Just 5 guys.
LIJ is probably the only faction we got in New Japan
Yeah.
that moves me because they got some hella good talent within that stable. Bullet Club don't move me no more. Chaos doesn't move me no more, especially since Okada left, who was
Yeah.
the leader of Chaos before he pieced out. United Empire, I can rock with it because it actually works out. Other than that, they need to build and build fast. I mean, Slack isn't wrong in saying I wouldn't say they'll be gone in 5 years, but they'll be
I
damn
should have reworded
irrelevant in
that.
about 3 if they do not get this shit together. Like I don't care what anyone says. I mean, as the somewhat resident NJPW expert here in Wrestling
That's
Athletic
correct.
Radio, like I want New Japan to be the shit. I will die on that hill, and I've died on that hill since 2016. Tanahashi, and I'm saying this as a hardcore New Japan fan, get it the fuck together.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot we can talk.
And it starts with G1. It starts with G1.
Yes,
Wait, the G1 what?
climax.
The G1 Climax tournament.
Ooh,
Hit it.
Chavo.
Goodness. With that being said, folks.
I might need that. I
Getting stale.
might need that for my ode to G1, Will. I'm just letting you know.
I'll
Yeah,
send you the
anyway.
audio file. It's like a half
My
a
God.
second.
With that being said, folks,
My
that
bad.
does conclude our show this week. Want a big thanks to Mr. YLP and YLP only for coming on the show. Slack, you did good too.
I got you your TikTok stuff, so you're welcome.
Yeah, you did.
You got
That's
TikTok.
gonna be a fun time to do those. I'm gonna be released for probably a lot this weekend if I get to it.
That's a
With that being
repost.
said, we're at the end of the show. Obviously, we're going to give our guests some time to speak on some things, plug their stuff if they care to do so. And we're going to start with Mr. Slack.
I gotta do the music.
I mean, we're not going to do that. Take it up. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, my outro will do the music for that one.
You can just follow me on Twitter. That's where I'm mostly active when it comes to
That's
wrestling.
true.
That's Slackstyle09, as you can see there. Yeah, just if you want more opinions that'll probably piss off a lot of people because it's funny, follow my account. Like, yeah, I got nothing else.
It's good. It's good.
I just enjoy pissing people off on Twitter because I just say things that everyone else is thinking.
You'll also shout out to Slack every now and then. He posts a really funny meme on Facebook that makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So
I
there was
got-
one yesterday.
My
one yesterday that got me. It
my
was funny.
share game on Facebook is unmatched.
It is. It's excellent. Like 6 times out of 10, it's really funny.
Good percentage. Miss,
But AEW
yeah,
average.
Mr. YLP, plug your stuff if you may, sir.
How the fuck do I follow that? Anyway, y'all can find me pretty much on Twitter, X, whatever you heathens call it nowadays, at YLP Perspective, over on Instagram at young_lines_perspective, and on TikTok. Yes, I have a TikTok. It's a thing. Apparently, you can watch funny memes on it. Hilarious. At YL Perspective. I'm the host, as it says there, as a royal fact. I am the host of the YLP podcast every single damn Saturday, kicking off your weekend in proper YLP fashion. You know, I can't wait. I mean, I'm going to have fun with the Forbidden Door preview and predictions, and then I got to do Money in the Bank preview and predictions, the early version, because I'm a glutton for punishment. So that's going to be absolutely hilarious. I already have at least my women's Money in the Bank winner. I don't have the men's. I'm just confused at this point as in terms of men's Money in the Bank. It's just going to be a time. But, catch that this Saturday, episode 396 on the road to 400. And can I plug the 400th, Ricky?
Go right ahead.
Please.
All right. So, 400th episode, July 20th, 2024. Coinciding with the 6-year anniversary of the YLP podcast. I don't know how I did it. Math apparently just came together and we were just like, here you go, let's have a baby. It's going to be a time. I'm going to do the Ode to the G1 Climax. Will can hit it if he likes.
Where is it? There it is.
Ooh,
There it is.
Chavo.
Yeah, we're going to be doing, I don't know what we're going to do for 400. Anybody, for my Forbidden Door is open, pause. Everyone's invited of War, Squadron. Join me in the 400th, July 20th, 4 weeks away. 4 weeks away. It's like a pay-per-view, but, audio version. And everyone's invited. Yeah, you already know the vibes. It's going to be a good time. And just think about it. It's crazy. Yeah, dude, like we did 300 and that was wild. And now it's 400 and I'm like, damn, I'm old.
Yes, you are.
Like it took a year and a half to get to 400, but we are going to do it. And it's okay. Will, K, Ricky, Slack, you can come too. I fucking guess. Everyone's invited to the 400th. Everyone's invited to the 400. So we'll figure that out.
We'll talk about it at some point if you need some assistance.
We'll speak on that off stream.
Yeah, I can figure out some ideas for that or what have you. Be that as it may, I think that's it. Will Tarashak, if you may, sir.
Oh, there we go. That's my.
That's your cue.
Okay.
There it is. There we go. Back on track. I told you it was going to be a pretty mega huge show, and 2 hours in, folks, we have reached the end of Kings of the Rings podcast, episode number 381, the Prohibited Portal that we busted wide open with some hot takes from Slack and some education from the Far East with Mr. YLP of the Young Alliance Perspective podcast. I have been your host, King Ricky Rose. You can find me at Ambassador Biggs across all social media outlets, BIGZ, Ambassador Biggs, so Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, some people's DMs, less people's text messages, BIGZ, Ambassador Biggs. I saw that face well. Find Kings of the Rings podcast at KOTR_podcast across all social media outlets. Like, share, subscribe. The links to all of our stuff are in the description below. If you are listening to us, make sure you are listening to us on Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the common wrestling podcast, home to the Young Lions Perspective podcast, the Fretzelmania podcast, the Brace for Impact TNA podcast, and of course, Kings of the Rings podcast right here. The links to all of our network stuff are in the description below. Will Tarashak.
Oh, hell yeah. What a show. Big thank you again to Mr. YLP and Slack. Hell of a show tonight, man. I gotta give you.
Man, brother,
I gotta give
game.
you an O.
Man,
I gotta give you a standing.
I wouldn't
O.
stand. I would not stand.
I'm standing.
I'm not standing.
These hot takes are fucking incredible. I didn't know you had it in you. It was a lot of fun. I'm proud of you. You're a podcaster. Who would have thought?
You ain't gonna forget me again.
Probably. You're absolutely correct.
No, that was just very memorable.
For the
I
next
can't wait
year
to
and a
tell
half.
Kay all about it.
Kay's gonna listen to this whole thing.
Oh, I hope they watch. I hope they
Oh
watch.
yeah. Oh no, they definitely will. Anything else to plug, Will?
No.
All right, cool. Yeah, when we come back next week, it is going to be one of our seminal shows of the year. It is Money for the Marks. I don't know what number it's on, but it's Money for the Marks.
Oh, shit, it is. It's 10. It's 10.
Is it Money for the Marks 10?
It's 10. It's your 10th. No, 9. It's your 9th year.
It's my 8th year. It's my 8th year.
year.
Yeah, 8th
8.
year. Yeah, Money for the Marks 8 or something like that. Yeah, 10, Jesus. Yeah, it's Money for the Marks 8. I might bring some Ringside Club people, and I've been thinking about that today, so I might have to get contact with Mr. A.O. Baker and Chad Law to see if they want to be on the show to help us predict that, so maybe another Mega show in the works. But until next week, folks, enjoy Forbidden Door. Again, thank you, Mr. WildP and WildP, only maybe you Slack sometime in the future for coming on the show. So without further ado, we will see you guys later, and stick around if you want to stick for the poster for a little bit, as well. We do have some bonus questions to talk about. But until next week, folks,
Shit, you're right.
I totally forgot. Yeah, until next week, folks, goodbye, good night. We will see you soon, and oh my God, I get to say it to your face. Fuck you, Slack.
Folks,
Good luck, ladies.
It wasn't Kay. I'll see you next week. You know, I was gonna give it to Kay to do the fucks like at the end, but Kay was not here.
Ooh, Chavo.
So Kay was not here to be a part of the Fuck You Slack movement tonight. I'm sorry, Slack, that you missed out on that opportunity. All right, so really quick bonus, because we forgot to do bonus questions. We were in just such a great conversation. How many matches will have blood at Forbidden Door?
Fuck. 3. Wait, do I have an over under?
No, we're going exact numbers this time.
Fuck. 2.
God damn it.
I'm gonna go your 3 then. So you're gonna do 2. Will Martha Hart show up? Yes or no?
No.
I'm gonna go no as well. Will we get a surprise return at Forbidden Door? You don't have to identify who it is. Just say yes or no.
Well, that's a yes. We have a Turnbuckle Al.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's an obvious yes.
Yeah. So those are all of our 3. Slack. Wow, you impressed Will tonight.
Yes, that was amazing. I thought this you had me on the floor time and time again. All right, I'll be right back. 1 second.
Yeah, you might have worked your way into it.
People mad.
You might have worked your way into a networking spot if you can find a partner.
Really?
The thing I say is
Possibility is there. If you
the
want
thing
to
I
take
say
it.
is because like every show outside of Kings of the Rings podcast is a one-person show, and no offense to you guys, I'm tired of that. I need a team. I want another ensemble.
Oh, man.
I want another if I'm going to expand or if we're going to expand wrestling. I want another ensemble show.
Ricky, you know what's really crazy about that? Like, before I became part of the squadron and whatnot, I did a 3-man podcast.
That's where you came from. I remember
enjoyed
that.
the living hell out of it. Yeah, Wrestling with Issues podcast. I loved it. Don't get it twisted, but I prefer solo. And it's no disrespect to my squadron, Kevin and Nick, but you know the way I go about it, I treat it as if it's like a one-sided conversation, and you're just listening to me ramble on for however long I feel like talking about it. I made it comfortable for myself.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
To be
respect to that. I can't. It's very, very hard for me to do that.
You got to find a way to make it interesting.
I always try to figure out ways to make it interesting, not only for the person that's listening, but for myself.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not going to enjoy talking about something for however long I'm going to do it, it's not worth talking about. Like, think of news of the week. Like, I'm not going to talk about there's like the big news, of course, we're going to be discussing and all that stuff. But sometimes I just want to go off the cuff and just talk about some other things that I think is absolutely fucking hilarious. That's just me.
We've been fortunate enough.
But I have to make.
We've been fortunate enough to have a lot of good solo people. Like we've had you, and you do well with like what I think got Will when we first talked to you was like you were good with using background music to bring people in.
Yeah.
You know,
because it's not only hard. It's only I've told you this multiple times, but it's not just hard for me to do a solo show. It's hard for me to listen to a solo show because my brain just goes. It just goes everywhere, and I can't. It's a me problem. But that's why like the Joe Rogan show is so easy for me to listen to because it's a back and forth. It's a conversation that's very relatable and it's something like it feels like it's sitting at a bar. But you have that knack where it's just like I'm sitting with you at a bar and I can't talk back. I'm just listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get because like here's the weirdest thing like I think I've ever been told as like a human. Like I've always been told like you have a voice for radio. I always thought it was like a straight up joke. Like and the more I thought about it, and the more I sat on it, it's just like that's basically what I do. I technically do a radio show every single Saturday for and just talk about pro wrestling. It's something that I enjoy talking about. B, I just happen to talk shit, so it kind of helps the cause. And then you just throw in a mix of news and predictions and everything in between. And somehow we've made it to 6.
That's also very true.
How, I don't know, but it's been just fun to just basically and like Will said, like you're basically talking to me, but I'm just literally talking to you for about an hour and a half, and there's nothing you can do but just sit on. But I like and being the quote unquote as by a few the Stephen A. Smith of WrestleLetic Radio, when taking that to heart, I'm gonna give you hot takes, but I'm gonna make you think about some stuff. Like if I can make you think about something, and maybe like the goofies in the IWC might want to just turn that brain on a little bit and just expand your mind for more than 10 seconds, TikToker nonsensors, you might learn something. And if that's how I kind of approach it now. It's like if you take something away from me from what I'm talking about in pro wrestling, I'll take that.
Works for me. Yeah.
I'll like that. Yeah.
We've had a lot of good solo
it's
shows.
More fun
we've had
that way.
We've had Jeff with Not Your Mama's Soap Opera. Also, just a really funny name. Like it was really good.
Yeah, it was fucking ridiculous.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
I don't know if I still have access to some of those shows. It might be somewhere really, really down in our anchor feed. But also, it's deep. It's deep in there.
But they're there. They're there.
Yeah, but I think my favorite one man that we ever had was anything Mance did. Oh, Mance was amazing. Mance was amazing.
Like which one? What like the reason I love Mance so much, like and always shout out to Mance no matter what. Like the John he did with Goldberg and the Fiend will always stick with me.
He had like a Mick Foley thing where he never cursed on his podcast, but Goldberg came back and he let off like a storm.
I wish I could have that energy in my rants now. Like that was not only it was pure bile, pure hatred, and I was there for it every step of the way. I was literally like, the first time I heard it, I was literally cheering him on. I'm like, say that shit, say it. It needs to like that's the type of stuff like doing solo shows can bring. It's just like you just go off sometimes, and that everything was just like I will never reach that level type of thing. But I'm
surprised. Slack, question for you. By the way, I love you have like the Superman little thing going on right now with the hair. It's actually kind of good. You kind of do look like the lead singer of MCR real quick from a certain angle. But
a little bit.
Yeah, you do. Just gotta be a little bit paler and it'll work. If you were to have a solo podcast of WrestleLetic Radio, what would you name it? I know you've thought about this.
No.
That's a lie.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like it would have to incorporate my name. Like,
that's a total requirement.
Yeah, we nailed it last week, dude. Slack in a cell. Or Slack in a pod.
Wasn't it a bunch of years ago that like you guys had me pitch a podcast and it was called like Cutting Some Slack some shit?
It was Cutting Some Slack.
Cutting Some Slack.
Yeah, it's like
God, it sounds like something Dave thought of.
No, I think we came up with it, or you.
It was probably me. That's a total me thing to come up with.
That sounds about right.
That's right up my alley for humor.
Yeah, probably something like that. I guess. Like I said, I would have to incorporate my name in some capacity. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. My handle is Slack Style, so like it could just be like something as simple as that.
I do like it.
Why?
I'm just wondering if you had anything going on right now. Like I said,
No, like I remember cutting some slack was the one back a few years ago, but
Rick,
I don't
you
know,
and
like,
Slack should do a show.
Jesus.
The king and his Slack.
Slacky.
The king and his Slacky.
yeah.
Slacky and me.
There it is. Oh, Jesus.
Well, if I can bring it together, I do have the idea because we do need more war specific content. So if I do actually find a way, because I forgot, I have to really set up the stream for it. War Room. That's kind of the idea of just bringing the podcast world together. Kind of like I explained this to you, I think, Mr. Wild P. Do you remember Sunday Conversation that ESPN used to have? Like not Sunday Conversation, my fault. Sports reporters. If you remember sports reporters, like every Sunday morning on ESPN.
I remember this conversation very vividly.
I don't know if you're old enough for sports reporters.
I'm not. I'm trying to think of it. I don't know.
So what ESPN would do,
what ESPN
would do every Sunday morning, they brought at least 4 or 5 of the best sports journalists like in the world, and they would sit down in a studio together and just talk about whatever topics they wanted to talk about in sports. In depth. Yeah.
It was pure absolute brilliance, and I watched that religiously.
And then everybody,
every single Sunday, on ESPN.
every sports journalist that was there got a final like 5 minutes to talk about whatever, like uninterrupted.
Yep.
Yeah.
It probably went all over the place.
They covered a good amount
all
too.
the time.
Like, over
Sports
the
Reporters
years.
was such a brilliant show.
It was it was a well done show that I could just sit there and just listen to in awe as a kid, and just
like it wasn't part of the interruption, it wasn't around the horn, it was just 4 renowned sports journalists sitting around and talking about sports.
I have to get going, John.
That's all right.
All right, dude.
All right.
Yeah, I'd do it in a few as well. But thank you, Slack. Yeah. Great job.
But thank you.
Thank you, Slack. I guess it's time for us all to get going. So thank you, Slack.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. YLP. Thank you, Freds. And no thank you to Charles's girlfriend who spelled my name wrong. She's also a Florida State fan, and we don't respect that in this house. Go Gators.
So,
have a good night, John.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Peace.
Good night.
Midnight music.